wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some loose shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to...
Go time.
All right. We are ready to go. Should be a good show tonight. We're kind of switching from computer to computer, so kind of a little different of what we've got going on. So got a busy card though. So that is one thing that's really nice that we haven't had in the last couple times. So we've got WNBA kicking off here in 30 minutes. We've got hockey going on now. We got another hockey game that's just getting ready to kick off. We've got college football. I've got one premium play in that game, and the other game I'm going to give you is going to be Missouri State. Hey, how's everybody doing in the chat? Let me know if you can hear me. Again, switching to a new computer, so let me know if there's some issues here, going through a little bit of audio stuff that we need to kind of set up and get going here on this new setup. So other than that, that's better. All right, go back to the brick. Love the brick. All right, so we've got Missouri State, Middle Tennessee State. Both teams suck against the pass, just to let you know. I lean the over in this game. I've kind of hit it personally. It's not an official play, but I am taking the over in this game. There's a premium play on a prop in this game that I put out on my winnable that I really like as well. And the play for this actual show is we are going to take Missouri State here on the money line. The Montreal scores a shorty, 1-1. What's up, Fox and G? Yep, should be a very interesting game. Obviously, it's very interesting that these two teams played last year to start off the season as well. So it's odd that the NHL basically gave them the same exact setup here to start the season. So your goal scored here is by Kapanen for Toronto. He scored that a while ago. You got 2 goals scored in the first. Brandon McMahon scored for Montreal with Nylander and Tavares getting the assist. So that's nice. I took Tavares to get a point. So Boston and Washington are getting ready to kick off. I like the under. I took the under 5.5. 2 very good goalies. 2 interesting offenses here. Washington obviously coming off winning the Metropolitan last year. Plays for a very good Boston team. Still has the pieces around to be a very good team. But I think it's both 2 experienced teams. I like the under here. I took the under 5.5. We'll talk about the 10 o'clock games a little bit later. Liberty UTEP. I'm going to ask what the chat was figuring out. I was very high in this Liberty team coming into the year. Everybody knows I love Jamie Chadwell. Ethan Vasco coming over from Coastal to kind of run this office to replace Caden Salter. Still thought there was enough pieces here to be a good team, but they just haven't been. Vasco's been a little turnover prone. He's basically a 2-to-1 interception to touchdown ratio, not exactly want. Both teams struggling to score points. 17-20 is generally what they average. Both offenses ranked pitiful. The Liberty offense ranks basically 106 in the country. Didn't know there were 106 teams. The UTEP office ranks 102nd. So really no play for me. But this is kind of a game midweek. Both offenses suck. Both defenses kind of suck. You're getting a total of 45.5. Middle Tennessee State, we talked about the total of 51.5. Both these teams couldn't stop anybody if they tried. I just think Missouri State's got more capabilities on the ground. Should be able to move the ball a little bit more on that if they decide to try it there. But most of this game is going to be through the air. Plenty of points scored in this game. Probably first quarter overs, probably third quarter overs we'll be looking at. We're going to be looking at this game all day. And then we got the big one. We've got Chicago and Milwaukee going into the bottom of the seventh, 4-3. If you're not aware, that cashes my free play. If you don't want to pay for my premium on the Winnable, or you don't want to join the Discord, at least sign up to my free play. We went 10-3 last week in the free play. It was actually better than the premium. So much that I have to kind of look at some of the plays that I'm giving on that. But we just cashed another one over 6.5 in this Milwaukee-Chicago game. I know the wind was blowing in, but I still thought both of these offenses would be able to go. Really small total here. Definitely kind of like that. So that was an easy, kind of nice winner. Good cash. We've got a late MLS soccer game that we're going to talk about, LAFC. My boy Son Heung-min's a streak of goal scoring has finally stopped last week. Probably starts another one tonight. Vegas and Phoenix, must win for Mercury. I'm on the Mercury tonight. The line is moved, so we're not going to play anything. I've got some things on the money line. As far as a play in this game, I'm playing Alyssa Thomas at 15 points. I've got a bunch of parlays also at 15 points for some other players as well. I gave out 2 premium plays in this game 2 days ago. So we're looking at that. We'll see some options that we can get on live on this. Might be an issue to take Satu Sabali's rebounds. She's been kind of pretty much on fire with those lately. This game, the first game in the playoffs in the last 6 for Mercury, they were out rebounding. This is going to be a key thing for them this game. They cannot get out rebounded this game. They cannot give the Aces double opportunities to score here. They've got to be a lot better off the glass. The other thing to kind of look at is Cleo Copper's threes. You could take her over 1.5 threes with Jackie Young's over 1.5 threes. Jackie Young's done really well on the road, especially shooting wise. Obviously the second league scorer in this team should be able to go through. Yep. You could take hers and Kalea Coppers, and you can get plus 151. If you want to take hers and Satu Sabali. Sabali has hit 2 threes in every game. She's hit 7 in a row, to be flat out honest with you. You could take just Copper and Sabali. There's a lot of different ways to kind of attack this game. So should be a very interesting game here. You really would like the Mercury to win this game, get us a series, make game 4 really, really interesting. And kind of move for that. And then we'll go through my boy Witty College Football. Will be joining us again tonight. We'll talk some college football. He's high as the moon here. The Florida won a football game. So he's going to be very excited about that. Working on getting a hockey guy in there. Might actually be my actual co-host to show up one of these times to actually talk hockey. He's very good in hockey. But yeah, so sorry, excuse me, let me grab my Mountain Dew here. But should be a show. We're going to look for some live opportunities all the way through the game. So late Yankees have started off versus Toronto. I like the Yankees here. I like them to force it to game 5. I think they're already up. Toronto's up 1-0 in this game. Vladimir Guerrero has been absolutely on fire. I kind of took him to get an RBI. He already got that. I took him to go yard again too, but he hasn't done that yet. But he's been absolutely on fire. Also took Vladimir Guerrero walks. I think eventually the Yankees are going to have to wise up here and just not pitch to him. But we'll see what they do here. So I do think he has a pretty good chance to get a walk tonight, especially when he got a hit the first inning and to be able to go. And then much, much later, we will watch the Dodgers hopefully end the Philly season. Yamamoto versus Phillies, massive advantage for the Dodgers coming through. And the Dodgers just seem to play a little bit higher. Schindler under 4.5 is at plus money at plus 140. Yeah, I mean, well, he's already given up 1 run in the first run. Yes, he's a hot shot rookie. Yes, he's got capability. As long as he stays in the game, 4.5 is probably a pretty good bet. Like I said, I rode Schindler all the way to a fantasy baseball title, so I definitely don't have any problem for taking 4.5. It's just a question: are the Yankees going to give him that big of a leash? So He's gone through 2 now, only giving up 1. He should. That bullpen's not really good there. You can actually just take the 3.5 and you can get plus 100 right now. He's still coming in right now, 2 innings in, and he's got 0. So in order for him to get 5, he's going to have to at least go 6 innings. And that's all going to depend on what the score is here for them to be able to make that decision. So not 100% sure he sticks in there long enough to be able to get 5 Ks. 4 Ks, probably a good possibility. As long as, again, he stays in the game. So Vladimir Guerrero to get 1 more RBI is plus 210. He's basically got there. The other thing I wanted to look at was Aaron Judge's hits. I was a little late to the party on that. Everyone loves to complain about Aaron Judge, hasn't been around for October, blah, blah, blah. That's the narrative. But Judge has got 2 hits in every game this series. He finally went yard last night. He's been actually kind of on fire. He's just the rest of the guys just haven't done shit. So you want him out in the 3rd. Okay. Oh, you took a under 4.5. Okay. Sorry. I misread that. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure that's going to happen. You just got to, we're going to get to the 3rd right here. We'll see what kind of settles down to. So, but that's a pretty good thing. So let me know in the chat what you guys all like. And we'll go from there. I'm watching this Cubs game, getting ready to watch the WNBA. Cubs got 2 men on, 1 out here as we're starting to get into this Dodger bullpen. It was nice to see Kyle Tucker actually trying to actually get a hit today. That was kind of positive. So, and you're only paying him over like $30 million. It'd be nice for him to actually get a hit in the series. Yeah, he needed a big game to get him some hope, 100%. But the one guy a lot of people haven't called it, Nico Horner has a hit in every postseason game. The Bruins team is a mess. They almost own gold. That's tough to do in hockey. It does happen every now and then, but come on, you don't. The wind is blowing in. You don't need to try to hit this as hard as you can, Suzuki. What do you like in the WNBA game? I like, let me make sure, because I took all my bets late, so early. So let me see what lines are actually still out there. Give me 2 seconds. I like Alyssa Thomas to get 15 points. I got that at minus 115. And let me make sure and see what my premium plays are, so I'm not giving away my premium play. Did kind of notice I did that the other day, but it was fine. Not a big deal. It happens. Yep. Okay. I like Jackie Young to get 15. I like that paired with Kalia Copper to get 15. I think rebounding is going to be massive in this game. It was very odd that DeWanna Bonner got 0 rebounds coming into the last game, and 3 before that, she got double digits. So I sprinkled the 5.5 again with DeWanna Bonner. And then I sprinkled the 6 rebounds here with Satu Sabali, but that's already gone up to minus 160 now. Ugh, that's disgusting. She's coming off a massive rebound game. She had 9. But she's really about a 6 rebound person. She's not a person that's going to get double-digit rebounds. So I wouldn't play that. Let me see if there's anything I can get to. I think Suzuki advanced the runners, but 1's out. Gets out of the double play, though. Like I said, I like the Mercury to win. They've done a great job on Alyssa Thomas. Like Alyssa Thomas's rebounds and assists have been way down, especially that second game. But I wonder if that second game, the Mercury just kind of saw that they couldn't miss and just kind of said, well, we'll save this to home. So I will tell you, the game was at 3 o'clock on a Sunday. I didn't watch a lot of the WNBA game. So I am on Austin Matthews to score in this Toronto game since it hasn't happened yet. Let's see what we can get that live, and I'll put that as an official play. I like Austin Matthews shots and goal as well. There's a couple different guys in this game that I like shots and goal. Now, you can't bet shots and goal live, but you can bet them for each individual period. So I'll be taking a look at different stuff that we can get on that still kind of gets there. Cole Caulfield, I also like to score a point in this game. Cole Caulfield scored a goal last year in this game to open up. He actually scored a goal in his first 4 games of the season. Cole Caulfield is by far their best offensive punch here. I'm still not so sold on Stollers. I'll be flat out honest with Toronto. And I think their defense sometimes can be a little shaky. So I definitely don't have any issue with taking this live. Let's see what we got here. So anytime goal scorer right now with Austin Matthews is plus 140. So let's go ahead and we'll take that as our first official show play for the day. He should be firing the puck a ton. That's what he loves to do. Montembeau is a solid goalie, but again, this Montreal team is a very, very young team. They've won the Calder last year with Luke Calder, and which has helped the defense. But again, the kid's only in his second year. The rest of the defenders around him. Noah Dobson comes in from the Islanders. Solid defenseman, but really, really kind of hurts himself on the offensive side, moving over to here. Mike Matheson's been there for years. Another solid defenseman, but again, not tremendous where they're going to prevent. They don't block a lot of shots. They don't really get involved as much as that. So I like Matthews to get going here. Hopefully he doesn't pull a McKinnon. Our first hockey play yesterday, completely there. Nathan McKinnon decided to leave his stick at home. Now, quite frankly, if you watch that game, he had 4 shots blocked. So he was trying to get his shots on goal. They just kept on blocking his shot. So, yeah, Matthews is a tremendous player in opening games. He likes to come out there. Obviously, you're going to have a healthy Tavares. That's going to be big. You lose Mitch Marner, but you've got other guys there. Matthew Nees is still there. There's definitely enough offenses here. Vladimir Guerrero is going to open up here in the bottom, the top of the. Actually, we're going to the bottom of the third here for the Yankees. Guerrero will open up for the inning for Toronto to open up the fourth. The Yankees will have Ryan McMahon. Why he's still playing, I couldn't tell me. But Grisham and then Aaron Judge again. Aaron Judge right now is the only Yankee to get a hit. Schittler, I believe, is still in there. Yep, he is. Still has yet to get a K. 3 innings, no Ks. So you're under 4.5. Looks pretty good. Yeah, but he beat out the double play. Yeah, no runs for the Cubs. We go to the 8th. As a Cubs fan, I'm hoping we at least win 1. It's got to be respectability to win 1. It's nice to see PCA kind of get his game to start game here because he kind of completely stymied in this. The Habs are on a power play right now. Let's see if we can get our Cole Caulfield point. Jump shot, you would know. Any book you know gives live points for the game. I know you always get live anytime goal scores. I don't play around DraftKings that much, but I don't know if DraftKings gives you live points. Live bet Brewers or no? I'm a Cubs fan. So I think we got a 4-3 lead. I'm hoping that's enough. But we've been hanging on, basically. We got 4 runs in the first, and from that point on, it's hanging on. The Brewers scored the last inning. You do have the heart of the order coming up right now for the Brewers, so if you're going to live bet them, this would be the inning to bet them. Either that or just bet them to win the 8th. Because the end of the match might be Bowers, Lockridge, Perkins, and Montestero might be their 9th inning hitters right here if they don't score here in the top of the 8th. Cubs, as far as pitching, let me see who's available. They've already used 4 pitchers. Palencia's already gone. That's not good news for the Cubs. Kittredge is already gone. He sucks. There's a reason the Orioles gave him away. So in the pen, basically, they probably might go to a starter. And there's your leadoff double for Milwaukee. Jackson Churio gets the double. Kittredge is still pitching. I don't know why. That just tells you they don't have any confidence in the bullpen. I would have went to Ben Brown, to be quite honest with you. Starting pitcher, not his normal spot, but to start the inning, I would have went to Ben Brown. You can get the Brewers at plus 142. I love when they're plus money, but they're on the run line and they're minus 1.5. Yeah, Andrew Kittredge should have not started that inning. Andrew Kittredge is not a very good pitcher. So we'll see who they come in to bring in this way. I mean, front of pen, Thabar is the only guy that's in there that's probably decent. Maybe Aaron Savali. But I would go to Savali or Brett Brown right here. So yeah. All right. So Bet Rivers has, you can get that at FanDuel as well. Live goal score, but you never can get just points. Like I got to take points for the period, or I have to take live goal score. But there is live points on DraftKings. Ooh. All right. Cool. So there is live points on DraftKings. So we're going to take Cole Caulfield to get 1 point at plus 120. Cool. I don't have to take it for the period. I'm fine with that. What's up, Yella? How we doing? You feeling good? You guys ready to take on Missouri this week? Yeah, he definitely dove everything he had for that ball, but again, Kittredge should have not started that inning. So I'm not a big Kittredge fan. He was here in the Orioles and basically was just hurt the whole time, and it's kind of like, okay, what's the deal? Not a very good pitcher. Yeah, you're getting used to that. For some reason, you guys are the standard 12 o'clock game. So it should be very interesting. It should be interesting to see what Missouri's got. I still like your guys' defense. I think it's rounding into form. I think you'll be able to take care of business here, which we'll get into a little bit later. 1 run for the Yankees. The Yankees tie it up. Ryan McMahon says, bullshit. You didn't want me in the lineup? I'm going yard. Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem, is they're begging for Bama money at 3.5. Is Missouri any good? I've gone through plenty of years where you thought Missouri was pretty good. All the Brady Cook areas for 3-0. It's not unlikely for Missouri to start the season 4-0, 5-0. But a lot of times, once they get to actually playing real SEC teams, they falter. So, I mean, the Schrader running back eras, the Burden running back eras, who was the other kid they got? One wide receiver that they stole from Texas. Simpson's been playing really well. I've been really impressed with Ty Simpson. He's not going to win the Heisman or anything like some people are joking around. The only thing I would sit there and say where he has a legit shot to kind of win the Heisman, one, I don't think Cristobal is going to let Carson Beck ever have that big passing game. And I think the defense is too good to really be behind that much where Carson Beck is just constantly throwing. So I don't think he'll ever have gaudy stats. I mean, most of his stats that he's had were halfway decent. Was like an 8-yard pass, and the guy ran for the other 65. But I think it's Dante Moore. I think it's Ty Simpson. Kind of up for the Heisman, and Beck is going to get in there if he ever can get there. I just don't think there's that great guy. Yeah, Dante Moore can win it because they're going to put up numbers. Oregon always puts up numbers. Now, they're going to start Big Ten play. We'll see kind of how that does with that. I was got in a fight with one guy today over a Twitter thing because he was like, well, Dante Moore is not going to go to the draft because he's got 2 years left. I was like, yeah, because what he wants to be is 24 when he enters the NFL draft. No, dude, Dante Moore is gone. Dante Moore remade himself into a first-round pick from a heralded 5-star kid who went to UCLA, got the start early, and then for all intents and purposes, he bailed on the team. Went to Oregon, but they went in and they signed Dylan Gabriel, and they told him Gabriel was going to be the quarterback. And then he sat on the bench for a year, and guess what? He's going to play his 1 year, and then he's going to bolt. First halves, Mercury are one of the worst first half teams. But I think this game to them, they've got to buck some trends here. They've got to come out early. All right, they went to Talbar. Talbar's got the first out. He's working on getting the second out here, trying to get the Cubs out of this. Badly need to get out of this to get this win. Yeah, I mean, of all the top playmakers in college football, they really haven't had massive games. I mean, Jeremiah Smith's had some good games, but he hasn't put up the 150 yards, 2 touchdown game yet. And he hasn't done it consistently week after week because, again, you're playing a freshman quarterback if you're Ohio State and saying. And Ryan Williams has a drop problem. I wouldn't draft that guy with a 10-foot pole. That guy is what we call a body catcher. He waits for the ball to get into his body. He does not reach his hands out there to have it. And when you look in the NFL, guys who are body catchers don't go, double play? No. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, though. Slow hit ball. Doesn't get out of the infield. Oh. 20 seconds left to go in the Toronto game. In real life, this game period's probably over. But what I'm looking at, there's 20 seconds to go. Oh, come on, Cubbies. Just get out of this inning. If you get out of this inning, you've got Durbin, Bowers, and Monasterio to play. So just get out of this inning. Just get out of this inning, and we should have a win. I know some people that like the Aces on the money line tonight. I just don't see it. I think Mercury's been really good at home. Like we said, this is a must-win game. They've got to come in there with full energy. Now, granted, the Aces are going to come in here with full energy as well. I just think if the Mercury play their game, they have more shooters. They have kind of owned the Mercury. That's where the one hesitation comes from. But I'm going to trust Mercury to at least go home, get one at home. The Aces may get the next game. But I think this is all effort, all out effort, all hands on deck. They're going to win the rebounding battle. and they're going to be able to win this. Are they covering 4 points? Not sure. Hey, what's up, JW? What's good? So we've got a 3-0 game in Missouri State, Middle Tennessee State with Missouri State. Crossing midfield. Our premium play, my guy's getting targeted, but he's not catching the ball. We need him to get going. What channel is that on? 574. Okay, I'll put that on right now. It is so funny to watch all these coaches' sons play. So we have Nick Petrino here. Obviously, the name sounds familiar. Oh, come on, dude. You had a first down. You just fell down. You had a 3rd and 12. They get it out to him. He's got a convoy in front of him. And he falls down. Yeah. We said that before the year. I didn't expect anything. I said I don't think he understands the college game. It's going to be very difficult in the college game to go try to win 20-13. I mean, unless you want to be Iowa, and especially in the ACC, trying to win 20-13. Defenses aren't as good. And really, quite frankly, if you look at his recruiting class and the transfers that he got, they weren't overwhelming high-quality players. So, yeah. But I also like the stat line where he was on the ice for the most time of any forward of the Montreal Canadiens jump shot. So, again, he's going to play power play 1. He's going to get some chances here. He's going to improve on that 0-0-0-0. Yep. I mean, quite frankly, let's look. Montreal put up 11 shots. Toronto only put up 8 shots. That's kind of surprising. Definitely was expecting a little bit more shots. No player except for Max Domi has more than 1 shot. Yaroslav Slavkovsky, who was one of the lowest totals for shots on goal for them last year, of course, starts the year with 3. So that's a little shocking. He only had 133 shots in 60 games last year. So average barely 2. I love Belichick's girlfriend. Oh, she's cool, but she's got no business on the sideline. It does look like some of the Twitter things and the things you look at the pictures of, looks like she's standing on the sidelines and he's handing her money and then she runs off. I mean, come on. You just can't be doing that at this. It just looks really, really bad. I mean, he's probably having a good time. There's no doubt about that. So you can't fault that. Yeah, they're going to be an improved team this year, Jump Shot. I mean, again, you've got to understand that they've got Slavkovsky was a young player last year. He'll be improved. We talked about Hudson there. Demidov is not even playing tonight. When he comes back, that'll be another guy that they can have. He's the front runner for the Calder Trophy this year. If you're not aware, Ivan Demidov. All right. Well, Milwaukee's doing their best here. We got bases loaded here. Brad Keller's in the pitch, and they get out of it. Cubs. Let's go. We go to the 9th inning. And if we can't win this with a 9th inning up to bat for Milwaukee of what do we got? Bowers, Montecero, and Perkins? Is that who we got to get through? All right. Now, Durbin, Bauer struck out there, so. So the X-ray strikes out. So we're going to have Montecero, Perkins, and Yelich. Great. Yelich is the guy I worry about. I love Christian Yelich. Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing with hockey. A lot of these things, especially with fantasy hockey, you've got to have some patience. You always want to try to make a quick move and get to things and get to rotational pieces. But, yep. All right, so if you didn't see the news today, Victor Wembanyama has grown 2 inches. The Spurs are initially announcing his height at 7'5". There's no way Trump can run again. Did he break his legs? No, he did not break his legs. He's young, still young and growing, and he is playing tonight versus the Heat. He's got 5 points off in the first quarter. How long he plays, who knows? That Heat team's going to be a very interesting team to watch. Most experts believe they're going to trade Bam Adebayo, who I think is really the core guy of the Heat. Yep. No. George Marathon was, 7'7"? I think 7'7" is the answer. I'm trying to remember who it was. Let's look that up. According to AI, yes, I was right. George Marathon and Manute Bol stood at 7'7". The question I wanted to see is, did he put on any kind of weight? I mean, it's a great thing to be 7'5". It's another thing to be 7'5", 185 pounds. They list him at 235. Yeah, sure. I'd like to see that scale. But the NBA is back in 2 weeks. Not a lot of moves. If you really watched the season, as we talked about, nobody had any salary cap. There wasn't really a lot of massive changes. Giannis did not move yet. The reason I say that is because there's plenty of word if this Milwaukee team doesn't start off well. Could be there. Rumors that are going on are multiple rumors. Sorry, I'm going to stop right here. The most egotistical thing I ever saw yet was LeBron's second decision. If you didn't see LeBron's second decision, so he set it up like he was going to do another decision, and everybody announced, hey, second decision, hey, this is going to happen on Tuesday. Everyone thought he was going to announce he was going to retire. Instead, it's an ad for Hennessy. Like, how much of a glory hog do you have to be to set it up and make everybody think you're going to do something and then turn around and just set it up for an ad? Yeah, I think he can. From what I hear, he's an intelligent guy. I mean, he's producing a lot of different shows and different things like that. But I will say, in that same sense, I think the funniest thing ever was 50 Cent is producing now a murder mystery show, which helps you solve mysteries. I kind of think that's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, because I thought he had a murder charge against him at one time. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I thought he had a murder charge at one time. Yeah, I mean, definitely settles. There are jumpers. Like, Wemby's more Kevin Durant than really anything with size. I mean, and at the times the Spurs are saying, well, we're playing you at center. You can't just always be on the outside. So, yeah, he faked reading a book one time. Correct. Well, then they even made that with his when he did his commercial of Royal Kingdom. They had him having a book, and then inside the book, was, hey, he's faking it. He's playing Royal Kingdom. And like, yeah, so he definitely sees up his things. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. There's plenty of celebrities that don't have a rap sheet, but there's plenty of guys who aren't trying to do murder mysteries either. None of those guys are out there trying to go, okay, well, he'll help us solve this murder. Let's go through and see this. And I just get a kick out of it watching this outlet. All right, it's 8:13 to go. Missouri State's got the ball again. Liberty and UTEP are still scoreless. Boston and Washington, the under's looking good. We're still at 0-0. Cubs are trying to do their best to go 3 and out here to get it to the 9th inning. If your glove fits, you must have quit. Schittler's still in there for the 4th inning. Leadoff double here for Toronto. Still hasn't got a K, so I don't care. It looks like he can go 6. He doesn't look like he's striking anybody out. Runner moved over to 3rd. 2 outs here for Toronto. Was that his first strikeout? No. A wild pitch. All right, second period, get ready to start here for Toronto. We're rolling with Cole Crawford to get a point. We're rolling with Austin Matthews to score in this game. Here it goes, top of the 9th. Cubs' chance to get a win. All comes down to this. All right, the Aces started off really well. They're up 15-8. Let's go back to that game for a while. I was on the under beforehand in this game. Aces getting off to a 15-8 run was not kind of what I thought was going to go on. That's the issue, is with the Mercury have just been getting buried early. 6 points for Jewel Lloyd in the first quarter is not what anybody expected either. That's an unlikely scoring source, which they have to get. Game 1 was Dana Evans. Game 2 was Jackie Young. Now, Jackie Young is not an unfamiliar scorer, but she's not a 30-point scorer. She's typically between 15 to 20 points. So her to shoot up to 30 points, it was kind of the unlikely score. Phoenix not off to a great set. Sabley does have 5, so that part is good for our bet. Thomas does have 3. Copper has none, hasn't even attempted a shot. That's kind of surprising through 5 minutes. So my gut feeling before the game was this game goes under, but I thought Phoenix was going to come out here and try to play some lockdown defense. So far, that has not been the case. You're seeing unders 167, yeah. It's juiced to minus 118 on FanDuel. So I'm just gonna ride my props here and see what kind of where it goes. I mean, I definitely don't want to pay that juice, but you can always take that. You can just take that with the Eagles money line tomorrow, and you could probably get that right around a little bit of plus money on the north side. All right, really watching this Cubs game here and see if they can come through for us. Schittler finally got his first strikeout. He gets through 4. He's got 1 K. I think you're pretty good and you're under 4.5. Tavares has 1 point. All right. And that's been the one thing. The Ace has been really good in the first half. So if Mike gave out the first half, I understand why. I was kind of thinking we were going to get a desperate team here from the Mercury, and I got to watch a little bit of it to see kind of where it goes. So I don't want to live bet if I haven't seen the game. All right, we're just coming back out of timeout. Let's see if they try to run something here for Copper to get her going. All right, Thomas with a terrible miss from 3 feet away. It's okay. Jackie Young misses a terrible layup. Kick out Katie Whitcomb, Semi. Can't get it. What's Age's rebounds at? She's got 4 rebounds already. Another 3 by Jewel Lloyd. Lloyd's got 9 points. Like we said, unexpected points right now. The Aces have done it every game. Kind of hats off to them since they looked dead and buried early in the year. But granted, they were the only teams that turned around and tried to make trades. They're like, we know we're not that good. We're going to make some trades and get better. I mean, it's the same thing Baltimore should be doing on the defensive line, and it is not. They're trading on the secondary, but they don't realize it's because they can't stop the run. Yep. In any of the games that you thought were going to go over, yeah, that's definitely a good look, taking that first 5 under at plus money. It's probably worked out pretty well for you, especially in the Yankees-Toronto games. Probably not as much in the Detroit games. Another 3 by Jewel Lloyd. Lloyd's got 12 points in the first quarter. And the Aces are up 11, yeah. This has been Phoenix's problem. They've just been kind of buried. Sabally scores and 1. That's what they need to do. Use your size. Get down there and score. Let's see if we see a Jewel Lloyd's live prop. 20.5. I don't think she's getting 20. I love looking at old-time goalie pictures and you see what the goalies wore. And you're like, it's amazing how you stopped anything. Yeah, it's definitely a nice look. All right, let's get to the top of the 9th here. And let's bring home a Cubs victory. With Brad Keller on the mound. Oh, boy. There we go. 2 away. One more away. Look at Brad Keller. Pitch it. Got Andrew Vaughn, the pinch hitter, to hit it out. Got there. Hey, guys, get your bets in for my ECU Pirates tomorrow night. Elliot, were you the same guy that said take the Pirates game 1 for like minus 4.5 and they lost like by 25? Ground ball to second. Throw to first. Cubs win. Cubs win. Fly the W. Let's go. We get 1 game. Cubs win. Cubs win. 4-3. Perfect spot. Stays right in that little spot right there. Liberty's in first and goal. ECU versus Tulane. Respectfully, no. I will take Tulane, and I think they win pretty easily. And the reason why is you look at strength of schedule. You beat a bad Army team. You got throttled by BYU. You beat a bad Coastal team. And you beat Campbell, who shouldn't have a football team. You played NC State tight. That was the game that I believe you were saying they were going to win. But I love Retzloff here coming in there. You have a Tulane team that beat up a pretty good Tulsa team. They lost to a top 15 Ole Miss team. They beat a Duke team that's playing pretty better. They beat USA. They beat Northwestern pretty handily. Strength of schedule, Tulane has played the better teams, has the better quarterback. The only thing that's kind of going in your favor in this game is the line movement has moved half a point in your favor. But the game being at Tulane, I don't see that. I can see you guys at 7.5 maybe, but at the current line 6.5, I'd be on Tulane. I think Tulane wins this game by a touchdown or 10 points, but we'll see. That's why they play the game. The game I love tomorrow night is the Louisiana Tech game. I like South Florida. I think they have the better defense on Friday night. You're jumping on to what I wanted to talk about, but we could go right into college football. I was trying to wait till Whitney comes on, which is generally 9:00. But yeah, I like South Florida in this spot here. I think they have the better defense between the two teams. I think they'll do enough. Brown just needs to take care of the ball. We'll see. Your current injuries for South Florida here. Let me look at them. The key guy Brown is not injured, which is the key guy you're worried for. Let me look at the injury report. South Florida. Now, Nimrod's going to play. Singleton's going to play. Byron Brown. There, you got a couple knocks on defense, but nothing too alarming. Guess who's come back? Mercury on a massive spanger come back. It's 21-21. So an 11-0 run here by the Mercury to get back in the game. And the Habs have lit the light. Zach Bolduc, who Jump Shot was telling you about, Brandon Gallagher and Kirby Doc on the assist. And it's 2-1 Habs. So Elliott's repeating my thing, but just opposite. Okay. I like I said, I like Tulane. I like Retzloff in this action here. I think the team's better tested. But we'll see. We'll see what Woody College Football says as well on this game. So DeWanna Bonner comes off the bench, hits the big three, gets it back to 21-21. Then the quarter. That is massive for the Mercury, so they don't get buried in this game. Jackie Young only has 2 points so far in this game. Copper, like we talked about, is still scoreless. Sobley's got 13, so well on to hitting the premium play. We need 4 more points for her to hit the premium play. I will not be live on. Well, I will. Thursday, I will pop on sometime on the Sports Money Show for the live NFL game. But that's perfectly fine. I mean, like I said, it's a close game, but I lean Tulane. It's not an official play or anything for me, but yeah. But if I had 7.5, I would probably take ECU plus 7.5. Tulane tends to play their games pretty close. So yeah. Yeah, Sabi's got 13 points in the first quarter as well. Her prop is right now an ungodly 26.5. It's almost obviously not playable, 26.5. But Vegas doing a good job to still give themselves a little bit of a lead here. Montreal peppering the goal here. There you go. Get it out of the zone. Nice diving play there. But Sabally, really, unless they're going to put Asia Wilson on her, and they won't because they like to put Asia on Alyssa Thomas, has no matchup from the Aces. So that's why I was on her, and that's why I was on her to have a pretty big game because there's just nobody who can naturally match up. Big brick, but it goes right over to Jewel Lloyd, who just can't miss tonight, and she's up to 15 points. Got Alyssa Thomas. Boy, I will tell you, the Aces have done a great job making Alyssa Thomas turn over the ball when she drives. Because every game I've watched, she's handle is not that tight, and it's very loose from her body. They do a very good job. Not sure why other teams can't do it, but knocking the ball away in the middle of her drive. You see it consistently all throughout this finals. All right, you're grabbing the under 172. Yep, it's up to 173. You got a 49-point quarter in the first half. Probably not repeatable. So, yeah, I can see the 173. Got to play some defense here if the Mercury. You're not going to play just by trying to outscore this team. So we'll see. Be a good game. We got some games obviously still going on. We got Toronto threatening here. Runners at the corners. Schittler's still in there, only with 1K. Luke's is up. Actually, no. Springer's up. And Luke's and Guerrero on deck. No outs. Not good for the Yankees. What channel is that game on? All right, we got the Caps on that channel. What'd they throw this on? FX1? Yeah, they did. All right, Schittler's on in the fifth inning. He's throwing 56 pitches. He's got one out. Toronto's up 2-1 now. Springer hit the sacrifice fly. Sends them in. They'll gladly do that for the run. Vladimir Guerrero on deck. If Schittler gets out, Luke's here. Do you pitch to Guerrero? That's the question. Let's see what they... Just holding off college football here, guys, for 30 more minutes. And it's a goal! Light the lamp. Goal scored by Callie Jerncock with Morgan Riley and Stephen Lawrence assisting. 2-2 Montreal and Toronto. They had a fight in the locker room at UNC? Okay. So each period's gone over 1.5. Caps game is still scoreless. First period through. Missouri State scores, but they miss the extra point. Good news is Dash Lucas finally caught a pass after 4 attempts. That's nice. So a nice pass for 20 yards. Liberty is on the board and trying to score again. Liberty might be the side. You get a double play here. Nope. Get the out at second. Okay. He doesn't attempt to throw to first. I mean, You look at Bill Belichick and what he's known for. He's known for tough, hard defenses. You don't play that really in college. You just don't. You don't really stop guys and try to say, okay, we're going to win this and we're going to win by a field goal. Their defense is Swiss cheese. Their offense is not that great. All right, Guerrero's up with a runner on first, 2 outs. Let's see. Do they pitch to him? We need Guerrero for a walk. And it's foul. I'm swearing he's making $10 million a year, but that doesn't matter. That didn't help him bring in recruits. Parents of the players are mad because they won't let them talk to him. They won't let who talk to them? Caps have a 5-on-3. Yep. Chance for an actual goal. That was a wicked pitch right there by Schiller. He's ahead of Guerrero. Both home teams have already won so far in Major League Baseball. Yeah, but the over, what was the over this game? 6.5? Or was it 5.5? I didn't even look. It was 5.5. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it looks right now. Yeah, but it's not like Washington's done anything with it. They still only have 9 shots on goal, which is terrible. The only thing that makes that worse there is the Bruins have 4 shots on goal. You're not going to win any game. The UNC parents talk to who? Like, the UNC parents should have, if it's talk to Bill Belichick, they should have no point of being able to talk to the coach. This is not Pee Wee football. There's not many parents. He shouldn't. I mean, besides the recruiting, when you're recruited, I don't think there's any reason for a parent to talk to the coach. None. You're not making the team. You're not deciding anything. No. I couldn't see any reason for that to be able to talk to. I mean, they could be pissed about it, but that's the way it should be. Liberty inside the red zone, trying to get there. Yeah, imagine the parents trying to talk to Nick Saban. That would just be like, dude, I talked to your kid. Taking care of your kid. I told you I would, and that's it. The rest doesn't matter. Schiller got out of it. Yeah, I mean, you agree. Okay. But that's the problem with these day and age where these parents think they're entitled. They're not entitled to shit. Not the fault the kids suck. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see after the first year how many players stick around there. There you go, Thomas. Let's go. Tie the ball game up. Get there. Get nasty inside. Get a layup, but you can't turn around and then give up a layup on the other end. Middle Tennessee State strikes Furtado de Lacy for 52 yards. Chelsea Gray just pushes people away, and once again, the Mercury give up another layup. If you're going to stay in this game, you can't just be giving up layup after layup. And then another 3. So you tied it up, and then you turned around and went them on a 7-0 run with 2 layups and a 3. I don't understand the Coach Prime thing. I really don't. I understand who Coach Prime is and his ability to recruit. And that being said, though, he's going to lose another 5 or 6 games at Colorado. They looked good last week and got a win that I wasn't expecting. But how many times is he going to be able to get away with this? Like, technically this year, obviously he's going through, unfortunately, what nobody wants anyone to go through. Another fight here, a medical fight that he's got to do on the side, and everything was there. And I mean, even in his conference, everyone's talking about, are you happy that Shador got moved to number 2? And he yelled, I want to talk about Colorado. I don't care crap what the Cleveland Browns do. I want to talk about there. I love me some Shador, but I want to talk about Colorado. Like, he's been a circus. I'm very interested to see how much Colorado sticks with him, because after a while, it's still going to have to come down to winning. They've recruited well. They've got different recruits. They're out of the portal, but they're a 2-4 football team. They lost to TCU. They lost to BYU. Those were their 2 ranked games they played. They lost at the start of the year to Georgia Tech. They beat Delaware and they beat Houston. Sorry, they beat Delaware and they beat Wyoming. Sorry, they lost to Houston too. They're going to turn around. They're going to play Iowa State. Iowa State coming off of basically the loss that you weren't expecting to Cincinnati. Came all the way roaring back. Almost had a chance to win. I was really pissed that we didn't get a touchdown there at the end. At least got it down to 2. Then you're going to come back. You're going to play a pretty good Utah team. You're going to play an Arizona team that might be ranked by then. West Virginia, okay, they suck. Arizona State, Dillingham is still doing wonders over there. And then you're going to have Kansas State. What's that? Maybe 2 more wins? So they're a 4-8 football team again? At what point do you sit there and say, okay, maybe you're not a very good coach. Maybe you're a great recruiter. Maybe you're a great hype man. But you're maybe not a really good football coach. You have NFL players, coaching guys. You have guys who have experience, and they don't work out. I think the level is too much for him. I hear all the things. You're like, well, maybe you should go to Florida State. What? You don't think he's getting similar athletes that he got in Colorado that he would get at Florida State? The Big O, 8 minutes and 5 on 3. Yeah, Big O. They have a 5 on 3 for 8 minutes. I see him out of the power play with 15 minutes to go in the second. Yeah, I mean, doesn't everybody? If you had a pretty nice side piece in the end and you could retire on the beach, wouldn't you just retire on the beach unless you lived in North Carolina? Is Deion really 73? Or are we back to Bill Belichick? Deion's not 73. There's no way Deion's 73. We got to be talking about Bill Belichick. Right? Well, the Washington Post was saying USC was exploring a potential Bill Belichick exit strategy. 3 hours ago, they reported it. They've had preliminary conversations about firing the coach. But just like all coaches that you want to fire, there's who's fitting up the bill for the buyout. Yeah, you do. You have those. But if you go at any point in the news and you look at the Outer Banks beach houses that were basically destroyed, by the beach because the beach has moved 10 feet. I'm not sure I'd want a actual house on the beach anymore in North Carolina. Yeah. be true. But, I mean, he could have took the job anywhere to get his son a coaching job. He could have gone to the NFL and still gave his son a coaching job. And I hear his son is actually a pretty good coach, though. So, yeah, they were talking about the exit strategy. But, again, on all those things, it's who's paying the $20 million. It's the same people. People want James Franklin to get fired. But unless you have a booster that comes up and says, hey, I'm going to pay half of the $50 million that's owed to him, the university is not going to do shit. You couldn't turn around and fire him and then charge it to the students. The university doesn't have $25 million laying around. Yeah, I mean, especially in coaching. I mean, in coaching, you generally have a son of a son. You look at college basketball. There's kid coaches on the 19 coaches that they have all the time. Yes, they have big money, but big money doesn't mean you want to sit there and write a check for $20 million to watch someone walk away. You try to find a reason to kind of get out of the contract. Most major universities do have big donors, but you still have to have some guy who wants to pay that, because him writing a check for $25 million doesn't make UNC a better football team today. Might make a UNC a better football team in 2-3 years, but they've been running this kind of retread for a couple of years now. Mac Brown was the coach they had before. Another guy in his 60s and 70s, Bill Belichick, 60s and 70s. So it's kind of things that it kind of fits the MO of the school. Liberty's stuck to get a field goal. Boston, Washington, the under looks really good. 2-1 Toronto and New York. 15 minutes till we talk about the rest of college football. Missouri State has got the ball again. 10-6 game. We're looking perfectly fine for our bets there. 9 minutes to go in the second. Got a pretty tight game here with the Vegas having a slight lead, as the Mercury generally do in the first half. Not a great first half team. Copper has finally got on the board, which is nice to see. Sabali and Thomas are yet to score this second period. Jackie Young has started to get going here. She's up to 9. Asia's got 10-7. But Jewel Lloyd has been that extra scoring punch that they've needed. And every game they've needed someone to show up. Oh, with Larry Fedora was before Mac. Okay. Yep. So, I mean, you gambled and gave an and 1 to Asia, Dewana. You can't do that. Yeah, I mean, you've seen the violations of that kind of stuff. I mean, all right, the Yankees tie it up. Jermaine says 2-2. I'm assuming that's what the 2-2 is. That could be the only thing I'm thinking of. Oh, we're talking about the hockey game. Yeah, it's been 2-2. Are we talking hockey or are we talking baseball? Yeah, we're sweating 2 bets in that. We're betting Austin Matthews anytime goal plus 140. We're sweating Cole Caulfield to get a point at plus 120. Austin Matthews has been really, really quiet. He's got a -1 on the ice right now. No shots in goal. Not what you expect from Austin Matthews, especially first games. Last year he went 5 games before he had a game where he didn't have 4 shots in goal. What was the line for the first half? You have Vegas up 8 now. Dewana shooting 2. What was the pre-flop line that Mike gave out? Yeah, I mean, that's been the Mercury's issue. They really have to start better. Haven't done a good job of doing that all series. NBA app knows nobody's watching, so their app's not working great. Sably having no points in the second quarter is really disheartening. Liberty threatening again. They look like they're going to walk away with this game. Missouri State has moved over to the Middle Tennessee's 40-yard line right now. Okay, really nice game from Lawrence, 30 yards on the ground. Even passing game. Batato's thrown for over 100. Middlebrook at 61 yards from Middle Tennessee. He's hit his number already on his prop for rushing. Why would anyone willingly watch the WNBA? Many of you followed it all year. It's just all about money. If I can make money on it, I could care less what it's on. We could be talking about spike ball championships if I think I had a line on it. Oh, Big O is talking Phillies run line with Yamamoto pitching and versus Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola, you can flip a coin 3 times to see if he has a good game. He actually had a horrible year. So I think a massive pitching advantage on the Dodgers. You're going back home to there. I question whether the Phillies are really going to give it this game their all. This might be a 1-2-3 Cancun type game. Having to play 2 games in LA to win. Yep. Like, if I didn't have any bets on the WNBA, I'm not watching it. No, I say that, but if there was nothing else on, I probably would watch it. We got 4 minutes left in the second. Still 2-2 Toronto and Montreal. Been a good hockey game. Yankees get out of it again. Schindler's gone 6. Can't get any strikeouts, but he's gone 6. He's got 2 Ks. He's up to 77 pitches. They've got 37 relievers. And I wonder if he goes the 7th in a 2-1 game or what they do here. So the way he's been pitching, he's kind of really settled down here. I would put him out there for at least the 7th inning here. You got Bonner at the line here. She gets 1 out of 2. Still down 7, though. Terrible pass. Bonner, nice rebound. That's what we need. Hit that glass. Come on, Sably. Get involved. What kind of that? You made a cross-course pass. Ugh. Grab the first 7 under 4.5 plus 160. Yep. Oh, yep. Touchdown, Middle Tennessee State. There we go. Bailey to Johnson, 20 yards, 13-10. Well, it's 12-10. We'll see if they can actually hit the extra point this time. 13-10. Liberty gets stopped here, 4th and 1. There we go. Sably finally on the board. There's 15. Let's go. Let's get this premium play in the first half. We are 8 minutes away from running down the college football card. Another steal. Lissa Thomas. Down she goes. Boom. There we go. Let's get this 15. There's 11. Let's go. 4 more points for Alyssa. Let's go. Grab the first 7 under 4.5 plus 160. Are you talking about the Dodger game or the Yankee game? Stop, Gio. Are you talking about the Dodger game or the Yankee game? Yanks. Okay. You're testing my theory whether they go with that. All right. Let me see what I can get that on. Where did you find a first 7? DraftKings? I've never ever looked for a first 7. So I'm pretty sure FanDuel doesn't have a first 7. Yeah. You get a 7th inning result. They don't think there's going to be any runs scored in the 7th inning. The under 1.5 is minus 520. Which team to lead after the 7th inning? Yeah, they don't think there's going to be any more runs. Very interesting. Bruins score. We have a goal scored in the Capital game. David Pastrnak lights the lamp. Slavkovsky is just firing the puck tonight. 5 shots on goal through 2 periods for Slavkovsky. Yep. Liberty are inside the red zone again. Trying to continue basically a domination of this game. 2 1-4 teams, but it really looks like the Liberty are the much, much better team. All right, we do have the Dodger game getting ready to kick off here in 9 minutes. I think the Dodgers win, but I'm not taking the minus 1.5. Yamamoto's been absolute stud. Yamamoto has a 7.5 strikeout number. Struck out 9 versus Cincinnati, 7 versus Arizona, 7 versus San Francisco, 10 versus San Francisco, and 10 versus Baltimore his last 5. 7.5 seems a little presumptuous, but them being up 2-0, as long as he pitches fine, they're probably going to leave him in there for a while. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. I was going to keep riding my hot hitters. Does Shohei Ohtani actually finally come to life in this game? That's one question I kind of had. Looks like the Cubs and Brewers will take off at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Wonder why so late. I think they're trying to push it probably past the NFL game as much as they can. I'll be 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I mean, no one's watching that game. In the East. You can't, the defense right now that the Mercury are playing looks dreadful. If you watch this team play the Minnesota Lynx, where they were all in their grill in every play, they're just leaving the aces wide open. And again and again and again. The aces are either fouled or they're hitting wide open shots. This is just a really bad look right now for the Mercury. How much did he bet on this game? I bet props. I technically have both sides. I have the Mercury money line. I have the Aces plus 7.5. I have 5 units on the Aces, only risking 1 because that was my parlay for hedging on Monday night to get off Kansas City. So I had 1 unit to win 5, and on the Aces plus 7.5, and then I've only got 2 units on Mercury. So, but the bigger bets are on Sabali at 16.5 points, 17.5 points, and then 2 threes for Jackie and Sabali are the premium bets. Copper and Sabali, sorry. So, all in all, I've got 4 units on this game. Are you wondering why I'm sitting here watching that game and not the baseball game or the hockey? I do have the hockey game going on as well. I've got that showing up on the iPad. And I keep flipping back and forth to the college game. I'm looking at anything that I like in this game at all from a baseball perspective. They're scoring at will. Not good for the under either. There's like no resistance. They needed that 3 at the end and don't get it. The Aces go into halftime up 12. We've got Jump Shot looking for a fight to try to get the Caps into this, but shockingly, Caps have another power play. That might be the 37th power play on the game. Yankees finally got a runner on base when they intentionally walked Judge. AJ Wilson saying, yeah, we're kicking their ass. That's basically the halftime interview. And she's got 17-7. Jackie's got 11-1-8. She's hit 1-3 already. Jewel Lloyd had 12 points in the first quarter. That's all she has for the game. Sabali's got 15, so we're going to need 3 more points in the second half. I like her chances. She does have 1-3. Copper's the big question mark. She's only got 4 points, so she's definitely got to get going. 0 for 1 from 3. I expect her to really kind of come out in the second half. We talked about Dewana Bonner getting her rebounds. Had none last game, but the games before there, she's got 6 in the first half. So that cashes the over 5.5 at plus 120. And we're riding the hockey bets. So end of 2 in Montreal and Toronto. We got 3 minutes left in the Caps game. I mean, the fact that you look at their shots on goal and it's like still in single digits is just really sad. Like, you're not going to win many games with that happening. So through 40 minutes of action, Swayman has got 22 shots there. Logan Thompson's got 10 shots. He's seen 10 shots, and the Bruins are winning. That's sad. Liberty get another field goal. It's 13-0. Need to get some punches in here, allowing UTEP to stick around. But Liberty will get the ball here for 7 minutes to go. They look like a chance to put some more points right before half. It's 9:02. Let me see where our guest is, as he's running late. Oh, 2-2 game here. It's a live option. Yankees get 2 men on here. Let's see if we got a chance to try to get a run. Chaz Chisholm is up to the plate. He's done a really good job of basically doing nothing for the entire time. Did have a home run yesterday, but before that, he was 0 for 4. Then he was 1 for 4. 0 for 2 today. And right to the second baseman, and that'll end the inning. So the under yours, you threw 6. You got one more inning to go through to get your under 4.5. They walk Judge, but they can't put anything on. Stanton's been walked twice this game. Judge has been walked once this game. I do want to look at Slavkovsky here. But before we go, we take a break. Time to talk college football. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Rob Shepley, Mr. Witty College Football himself, here to run through the card with us. I'll give him his first 5 minutes so he can tell us how happy he is for the Gators winning a game finally. All right, Rob, how do you feel now?
It's funny you ask about Florida first, because I was actually repping my my Pittsburgh gear on because they beat Boston College last weekend, so I was actually repping that. But I mean,
do you know how bad Boston College is?
What's that?
Do you know how bad Boston College is?
I don't know. I guess I'm a little biased since I got that Northeast energy in me still.
All right.
I think Boston College is going to find a way to at least maybe go 4-8 or 5-7. But nevertheless, I mean, if we're talking about Florida, though, I mean, it was just a bad matchup for Texas in the sense that, I don't want to go too far into this rabbit hole, but Arch, there's been so much hype surrounding Arch Manning, and I think this season has kind of proved that, yes, he's still really talented, but there's some things he needs to figure out. But I also don't think Stark is necessarily setting up for success either. But also that Florida defensive line is just so strong that this wasn't really a good matchup for Texas in that way. But also, Florida did a really good job at not turning the ball over, and most importantly, actually using their running game, which is something that, has made me wonder why they haven't been doing that all year. So,
well, that was the thing we saw in the Miami game that we talked about. I mean, you could see clearly that the kid was told when he rolls out, it's either take off and run or throw it away. That was it. Unless your guy's wide open, Lagway, take off and run or throw it away. Don't try to make this play where you're coming back, throwing off your back foot, throwing it up. Whatever there. And again, their defensive line was great. You also got an advantage of Quisner was coming back from injury, wasn't really fully healthy, tried to play that game. I told guys, I'm taking the Quisner prop. I said, not a chance in hell would I take that over the Florida defensive line. I would take the under, and I would take the under like 5 times. It wasn't going to happen. The Florida defensive line is for real. They've got a very good defense. Very interesting game coming up here. What do you like here? We'll start off with that, then we'll get into the week then. So you got you're coming in there, you're playing on Saturday, you get the chance, you're coming off the win. Are you guys going to be up for it, or are you going to fall on your face here as you go for another? I believe this game is primetime too, right? Is this a primetime game? I can't find this game. Why can't I find this game? Maybe I passed it.
I thought that game was next week.
Might be next week. No, I thought it was this week. I might be wrong. Let me look. Let me check something real quick. I apologize.
Oh, no. Sorry. Florida, Texas A&M. That's sorry. That's 7:00.
It's another prime game.
I wasn't thinking. I think maybe what it is the reason I didn't want to think that it was this week because it triggered last year's game, which was Texas A&M running all over Florida's defense, and I don't think that's going to happen again this year. I'm a little afraid of that because Ruben Owens and Moss, that 1-2 combo combined with Marcel Reed, it's pretty dangerous. And quite frankly, outside of Miami, I think they're one of the most complete teams in the country, just kind of given their resume. So I'm definitely nervous about this game, but I also think if that defensive line can really get home and force Marcel Reed to throw the ball and most importantly be able to stay in the pocket, I think there's a real shot that can win this game even if they're in College Station.
I like Florida to pull the upset. I like Florida plus 7.5 here. I'm sprinkling the money line. I know this game's on the road. I do like this defense. I do think you're going to cause issues for there. Your big thing is going to be limiting Craver's big playability. As long as you can do that, and if you haven't noticed, Craver's not really the guy to watch out for. It's Concepcion. Concepcion has slowly taken over the target shares. He has slowly had the better games. He's the guy to take on the props than Craver. Craver's if he doesn't break one, he doesn't get his prop. It's just that quickly. Easy. Doesn't get enough target share to get there. Oh, he fell down. But McMahon still makes the play. Is he hurt? Looks like he's all right. All right. I am going to take a live play. I'm going to take Yaroslav Slavkovsky to get one shot on goal in the third period. He's got 5 coming into this period. You can get that at plus 105. So I'm telling you, he's going to end the game with 6 shots on goal. And we're going to cash plus 105 on this. All right. Let's move in. We had some discussions here. We've got Middleton. I've got Missouri State tonight. It's 16-10 right now. Been a pretty good game back and forth. I've got a prop on my boy Dash Luke tonight. He's getting the target share. He's just not getting any receptions. Needs to have a little bit better passes thrown his way. Liberty's all over UTEP, 13-0 right now. Moving on to tomorrow night, we had some stuff in the chat. I like a game that, here much I'm going to tell you, Louisiana Tech and Kennesaw State. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, let's just give Kennesaw State some credit considering the mess that they kind of had going into the season, firing their longtime coach who pretty much established them in the FCS. Then they later him after one bad year. And now I think his last name's Mack. I think it was Jerry Mack. I think their head coach is. He deserves a lot of credit for what they've done, even just having the 3 games this year. But Louisiana Tech is definitely a team that, at least to me, looks really complete right now in the sense that you look at their past couple seasons, they've been developing. But Sonny Cumbie, I think, really has a pretty formidable team here. And I think it's a game that I would favor Louisiana Tech in.
Yeah, I took Louisiana Tech minus 5.5. It is surprising the money is coming on Kennesaw State. It went from 7.5 to 5.5. I still like Louisiana Tech in this game. I've been riding Louisiana Tech all year, so I am going to continue that up. All right, Schittler's still in there in the top of the 7th, 2-1. Really making that K prop a little interesting. And then we had an open discussion here. We have one guy in the chat, big ECU guy, likes ECU versus Tulane. You know my stance for Jake Retzloff. I really like Jake Retzloff. The line is now moved into where I think it's playable, which I will play Tulane minus 6.5. But as I said, if this was 7.5, I'd probably take ECU. But I think Tulane's going to win this game by a touchdown or 10 points. Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably second that too. I mean, East Carolina, they definitely deserve a lot of credit for what they've done this year. They came off a really strong win versus Army a couple weeks ago. And also, I think the Hauser kid is really solid too. I mean, about 7 touchdowns this year to 4 interceptions, 1,500 yards passing. But, I think East Carolina is going to find some ways to possibly, slow down Retzlaff a little bit. So I think this game is going to be competitive, but I just think Tulane's is too talented all around, and I'd probably give it about that 7 to 10 point ratio, but don't be surprised if East Carolina maybe surprise some people early and put some points.
Yeah, I have the issue looking at it. We got an error here by Chaz Chisholm, and Toronto's going to have runners at the corners. My issue, Katie Hauser couldn't beat out Ethan Vasco in Coastal last year. So somehow I obviously have a different opinion on Katie Hauser because that's the Katie Hauser I've seen. And that'll be it for Schlittler. So the under 4.5 that one of the guys has cashes. The under 7, 4.5 is in a little bit of jeopardy here with Toronto. threatening here in the 7th inning. Jacksonville State, Sam Houston is the other semi-big game, I guess, there. I've been surprised at this Jacksonville State team all year. I had them under 3.5 wins for the year. They've already got 2. I did not have them beating Liberty. This is a game, though, I did circle as a win for them. So Jacksonville State -7. Money's kind of come in on Sam Houston. No idea why. They're going to make the quarterback switch. This is supposed to not be Watson in the game. This will be the other kid, from what I read. And who knows what you're going to get out of Sam Houston. But for that place, I will go ahead and I will take -7 on Jacksonville State. And I will hold my breath because that's the only thing you could do when you're taking a Jacksonville State team.
Yeah, because that's what's tough about this game, right, is Jacksonville State got completely gutted after Rich Rodriguez went to West Virginia, and then Casey Keeler, I think, he went from Sam Houston to Temple, so they got completely gutted. You bring in Phil Longo coming in from Wisconsin, and, obviously they've been struggling putting in that offense, but Jacksonville State, I'd probably give them the slight edge, but Sam Houston, they're going to find a way to win a game. But even if you go back to 2022, they had a really big stretch where they just kept losing one-score games, and I have a feeling it could be a game like that.
Okay, interesting. All right, Friday night, USF, North Texas. I'm taking the Bulls. School I attended for several years. I think we have the better defense. Byron Brown will be a go in this game. We lost a couple players that are a little bit injured, but I still think we have enough depth here. Over this North Texas game. I like our defense to be able to put it this way. I think the total's a little bit too much, but I don't know what to make of Mestamaker. Mestamaker is having a tremendous, tremendous year. If you're not aware, he's got 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. If he takes care of the football, Miami moved the ball on this USF team. Not that North Texas has the same team as Miami, but there's some obvious deficiencies in the passing game. Charlotte was able to move the ball last week versus UCF, especially in the second half late when they kind of opened up the offense. So not really anything on the total, but I am taking USF minus the 1.5.
Yeah, I would second that. I mean, I did watch a little bit of the South Florida game last week, and sure, a lot of that was in garbage time too. So I mean, let's don't completely look at the box score, but I mean, if you're a North Texas fan, I mean, you gotta be pretty happy about what you've seen from them. I mean, unfortunately, I think Eric Morris will probably get a Power 4 job this coaching cycle, but it doesn't surprise me right now that they're 1.5 point favorites. But at the same time too, South Florida, they've done a phenomenal job this year, but I think they're just the better team right now. Also defensively, and I also think they're gonna make that quarterback throw at least an interception this week too.
Don't wait till we're 7 years too in college, Sean. Yeah, I had interesting stops along the way. So Miami, USF, Towson, Marich, Kidd. So yeah, that kind of comes into play. Washington Rutgers, we will not talk because it's a premium play for me. So that'll be on my winnable. So let's move in. Guys want to talk about some of the games on Sunday, so we'll go through that. Pittsburgh, FSU. I think you're wearing the Pittsburgh stuff. FSU obviously lost another one, got absolutely squashed. Yeah, they came back and they made it 6 points because that's what Mario does. Let's just run it into the line, and we got a 20-point lead, and that's enough for us to win the game. And then, lo and behold, again, at the end of the game, we're hoping to catch a weird onside kick so the game can finally end. But that's kind of what he does, so it'll be very interesting. I think that's going to kick us in the ass at some point this year. I think there are a couple teams that can do it. Lines moved from 8.5 to 10.5 for a ranked Pittsburgh team. What's your take in this one? So,
yeah, I mean, if as somebody who's been following Pitt football for a long time, if I know anything about Pat Nardizzi coach team, It's that you don't get your hopes up. We can think about last year when they a couple seasons ago when they won their first 6-7 games, then everything went to crap afterwards. But I mean, Florida State, I mean, right now they're 25th in the country. Castellanos, I mean, you kind of get what you get with him. But if you ask me, I think Florida State's going to come back really strong after what was, I guess you can call it close enough game versus Miami, even though they kind of came back a little bit late into the game. But they have some great weapons like Deuce Robinson too, and Pitt's also starting a freshman quarterback who had his first start last week after benching Eli Holstein. So I expect Florida State getting home to a pretty vulnerable Pitt offensive line. So I would agree that I think Florida State's going to win big here.
You think they're going to win big here? Because what Florida State does well, 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. There goes the under 4.5 in 7 innings. Sorry, buddy. That's just a bad break. 4-1 Toronto. What Pittsburgh does really well is stop the run. So this game is going to be won if Castellanos can throw the football. This is not going to be won if FSU can run the football. I do agree with the one side of there. I wonder how the Pittsburgh offense is going to move the ball at all. So I could see them winning this game, and I could see them covering. What started 7.5 now is 10.5, makes it almost unbettable. But I do see this as a low-scoring game because I wonder how much Pittsburgh contributes to the scoreboard. And I don't think FSU is just going to go up and down the field because, again, the way you beat Castellanos is you make him throw the football. Exactly. And when he throws the football, it's anybody's guess sometimes where that ball's going. So
he already has 5 interceptions this year too. That's noteworthy too.
Yeah. All right, Houston, Oklahoma State. We're not going to talk about. We're going to talk about surprise team, and this is a team there versus another team that used to be your favorite team, and then that coach left, and then he left. UCF and Cincinnati. I keep going against Cincinnati, and every time they do, they come back and just kick me in the ass.
Yeah, I think everybody's had that against Cincinnati syndrome, considering, I think a lot of people were worried about, seeing Cincinnati last year and kind of all coming together. Brandon Sorsby deserves a lot of credit for, what he's done this year. I mean, they played Nebraska pretty competitive at the beginning of the season, and then they ramp off a couple wins. They beat Kansas State and a lot of other quality teams like Iowa State. I'm sure losing their cornerbacks probably contributed to that too. But, I think it's going to be closer than people expect. I mean, you never really know what you're going to get from UCF at the same time. But, to me, I just think between Sorsby and Goody as well, who I think is a really good weapon for Cincinnati, I like them in this game at home.
Yeah, the line's 10 points. That's the biggest question I have. I mean, UCF has major issues still at quarterback scoring. Jackson's all right. They still average 31 points, but you kind of look at some of the competition they played. Played North Carolina. We've talked about them. NC, AT&T, and Jacksonville State.
It's a little skewed. Yeah,
they did put up to 20 points versus Kansas State. They put up 20 points versus Kansas in their Kansas ramp. I kind of think, once again, Cincinnati scores in the 30s here, and I'm not sure UCF gets past 20. So I kind of like the minus 10.5. That would be late. And then the biggest game that the book's begging you to take, Bama minus 3 at Missouri.
I always get a little bit scared every time I make a bold claim like I'm about to, but I really believe in this Missouri team. I think Ahmad Hardy, I would be shocked if he's not within the top 3 of the Heisman by the end of the season. I truly believe he's the best running back in the country. He's a guy who's explosive. He breaks tackles. And I think what makes Missouri's team really special, in particular over the past couple seasons, is they always find different ways to win. And to me, this looks like a game that I think could really kind of put Missouri on the map. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that, Missouri's going to win by 10 points or they're going to have like this statement kind of win. But I think we're going to talk about this game coming out of the fourth quarter, coming down to the final drive. But I think if Missouri can, find a way to not turn over the ball much. They're going to keep running the football, and Bo just makes a couple key critical throws, particularly in the second half. I wouldn't be surprised if Missouri won this game. In fact, I might even just say now that they're going to win.
Okay, he can be reached at Witty CFP on his Twitter handle. So make sure you fill those DMs, all you Alabama fans that are in the chat. So he likes Missouri. Interesting. Okay. I like Bama's defense here. I think they're going to cause Missouri a lot of issues. That's kind of the one question I have. It'll be a good test because, Bo, obviously, you look at the points scored, Missouri scoring points in bunches, but there's plenty of games that come in. But again, it's who did they play? They scored 42 points versus Kansas. They scored 29 versus South Carolina, 52 versus Louisiana, and 61 versus Central Arkansas, and 42 versus UMass. Bama's played a little bit better competition. I like Ty Simpson here. I think the biggest question that no one knows is how good is the Missouri defense? If the Missouri defense tends to be what they are ranked right now, which is top 5, we got a power play for the Leafs here. It's locked in a 2-2 game. Then, yeah, I could see Missouri winning this game, but I don't trust that. So,
Well, it depends how many passes Ryan Williams drops this week too. So
correct.
I mean,
over under has got to be 3.5.
Yeah, so I mean, again, any Bama fans, I'm not completely crapping on you guys because I think Ty Simpson is a dog and he's completely legit. But my gut just tells me that I think Missouri can take care of business if that defense shows up and the running game is as good as we kind of think it can be.
All right, Gerardo's giving out a live bet. He is seeing goals in this game with 13 minutes to go. He's taking 3 goals. Wait, they're giving you 3 goals and you're just getting minus 103, or how many minutes ago was that? 9:21, 4 minutes ago? You see 3 goals in a game that we've been stuck on 2-2 for forever? Okay. Not sure I can get there, but best of luck to you. So, did get another Cole Crawford shot. Austin Matthews keeps getting his shot blocked. He's trying to definitely get involved here with no shots on goal tonight. Doing a great job to basically kick me in the ass again for star players not shooting the puck there. All right. Saturday. Ohio State, Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who listened a couple weeks ago, I made the giant mistake of picking Illinois over Indiana, and I will not make that same mistake again, even though Illinois deserves a lot of credit for how they kind of bounced back versus a really resilient USC team. But, there's a reason why Ohio State is the best team in the country. I understand that Illinois is at home. Luke Altmaier is one of, I think, only 4 quarterbacks who hasn't thrown an interception yet this year. So, I mean, he's thrown 1,500 yards too. So, but at the same time too, I mean, the defense is really coming together. Caleb Downs is a beast, and, Julian Sain deserves a lot of credit for, kind of being that game manager and just making sure he hasn't made too many mistakes. So I'll take Ohio State in this one.
All right. So one question I'm just going to ask. So, Arado, why would you think it's going to be 3-3, so you think it's going to go to overtime, you think you're going to go over. Why not just take will there be overtime at minus 115? Yeah, Montreal is definitely playing really well in this game right now. I mean, you look at the shots on goal, they've got 26 shots. Toronto's only got 19. They've really basically outplayed the Leafs most of this game. I just, if you think you're getting there because you're getting overtime, I don't know why you wouldn't just I'll just play the overtime. Granted, yeah, we could get 2 empty netters. It's hockey. Anytime things happen in empty netters as well. But yeah, we get a breakaway. Oh, stoned right up to front. Goal, Toronto. Toronto lights the lamp. There's one. Leafs get the goal. Let's see. Goal scored by Morgan Riley. Assist goes to Matthew Nees, and I'm wondering if they're going to give a second assist. Get the breakaway. Good stop at Montebo, but it comes back out. Riley fires it, drills it, and Maselli gets his first assist in Toronto. Matias Maselli, the replacement for Mitch Marner, gets an assist. All right, so 3-2. Anybody's game. Let's go. Maybe you'll get there, Gerardo. Take a stop. Look at the WNBA game. Vegas is still up. It's basically just matching points. Asia's got 24 and 10. Jackie's got 13. 1 for 5 from 3. That kind of sucks. Sabali's still got 17. Really is kind of laid off on the scoring. They really need to kind of go over. Alyssa Thomas has got 13. We need 2 points from either one of them to cash. Bonner's got 14. Cleo Copper has decided to take vacation early, what it looks like. So we'll see. 4 minutes to go in the third. Dodgers do not score. The leadoff, they strand off a Mookie Betts triple after 1 out, and they do not get anybody out there. All right, so in 15 minutes, we'll talk Calgary, and we'll talk Edmonton, and we'll talk some Vegas Knights hockey. But still, we've got some more college football games to discuss. All right. Let me see what I want to talk about. What I don't. Yeah, I do like you. I do like Ohio State, but 14 points is still a lot. But I think their defense is pretty good. Do I got a line in this game? I'm telling you right now, I'm taking North Dakota State over at SIU. 5-0 team versus 4-1 team. My father's alma mater. All right, let's talk Red River. Oklahoma with news that John Mateer will play, which is why the line went from 11.5 to 1.5. Something you don't normally see in college football. A 10-point swing. But Oklahoma is a different team with Mateer versus Colorado, versus Texas. You have Arch Manning. Ooh, okay, he's got some question marks. Still things to work out here. Coming off a loss. I see 2 losses in a row. I'm taking Oklahoma plus the 1.5 points. I'll probably take them on the money line. I don't have any issue. I think this Texas team really still kind of lost in offense. I think I like the Oklahoma offense a lot better. I will tell you one thing, this Oklahoma defense, like we talked about in the Michigan game, is pretty good. And I think they'll be able to do the one thing they've struggled to in the past, which is stop the run. They come in this game, number 5 in the country against the run. And you say who they played? They played Michigan. Michigan is a very, very good rushing team. Almost entirely. They played Auburn, who their quarterback still hasn't figured out that you can pass the football. It was a very good rushing team. So I like Oklahoma here to stymie this Texas run game, make the game rely on Eli Manning, and Oklahoma to win this game probably by a touchdown. So I like the Red River shootout with Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, I mean, I second all that too. I mean, you brought up a lot of great points. I definitely want to emphasize that Oklahoma defense. I mean, if you go back and watch that Auburn game, they had about 10 sacks that game. Now, granted, Auburn's offensive line has not been very good, but Auburn also, there's a reason why they're one of the better rushing teams in the country. But nevertheless, I mean, John Mateer, they just announced that he's playing, which is great and everything. But I think you also have to sit there and say, hey, if you're Texas, I mean, I can't imagine. I think I'm just kind of curious in terms of how what Oklahoma's offensive game plan is going to be. Because I mean, granted, I think Michael Hawkins, their backup quarterback, and Mateer have a pretty similar skill set, so I don't think it's going to change too much. It's just more or less of, how comfortable is Mateer going to be in terms of taking hits and going outside the pocket. I think that's kind of my big question. But
Question,
I think
whoever wins scramble like he normally does. Yeah,
exactly that. So to me, the big question is going to be, which defensive line is going to be able to get more pressure on the quarterback. To me, that's the big question of this game, if you ask me.
All right.
But I take Oklahoma too.
Notre Dame and that tremendous defense versus North Carolina State. The line is moved, opened up at 62.5 and it's moved to 60.5. Kind of shocked on that because I don't think Notre Dame is capable of playing an under. Yes, they played one versus Boise State, but that's because Boise State isn't that very good. Their pass defense is ranked 114th. The one thing you basically kind of look on in this NC State team, backed by CJ Bailey, who's actually played really well this year, 1,660 yards. Settled by Hollywood Smothers, who almost has 1,000 yards already on the season on the ground, 700. And they've got some pass weapons. I love the over in this. Sorry, I said under. I love the over in this, over 60.5. The line is stood at 22.5. I think NC State finds some ways to put points on the board, scoring around 25 points in this game. And I'm going to take the 22.5.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think for people who've been following NC State, I mean, CJ Bailey, 6'6", 210 pounds, has a cannon of an arm. He's had some issues with accuracy the first couple games of the year, but, for the most part, they've had some quality wins. They managed to squeak by versus Virginia. They're solid right now, but, just Sean elaborated on, Notre Dame has had some issues in terms of the pass defense, and, NC State has a number of explosive weapons too. They also have Anderson, another wide receiver who's going to be great as well. But I think Notre Dame is going to take care of business. But I don't think this is going to be a 3-score type of victory. And also, Dave Duran's coaching for his job this year, so I expect NC State coming out with a fight and a lot of effort. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying Notre Dame's not going to win, Elliot. I just don't think they're going to win by 24 points. Which is what you'll need. I like the 22.5. But we've got to drive to the track, and it's caught right at the end. Hit to the deepest part of the ballpark here, and can't get the run. Yankees hanging on to their dear life here in the bottom of the 7th. So I think Notre Dame wins this game, but I think it's probably like 17. This game screams backdoor cover. I think we get about 65, 68 points. I like the 22.5 as long as it's above 3 touchdowns. I like it right where it's at. All right, let's talk about the biggest team I like to always go against. Iowa State versus Colorado. Iowa State losing to Cincinnati. Basically did not play the first half. And I tell you that exactly because had they played at all in the first half, they went 31-15 into the half, they would have won the game. Roared back the second half, won 15-7, had a chance at the end, got inside the red zone, and couldn't get it in the end zone. Colorado, we talked about how long is Deion's leash here. He's 2-4. Yes, he's got another health scare, so that's probably going to give him a bye. He's getting upset. He wants to basically team. People talk about Colorado, not the Cleveland Browns. He's 2-4. I don't see a lot of wins in their line. This line is 3. Why is this line 3? What's your take on Colorado versus Iowa State?
Yeah, I mean, for those people that think Deion Sanders is on the hot seat, he's not. The reality is, as long as he keeps putting ass in seats, they're not going to get rid of him anytime soon. But I guess to answer your question, I mean, I can see why the game is, I don't think it should be 3. I think it should be closer to 7 if you ask me. But I think the real issue that we saw is the fact that since Iowa State lost their 2 top corners, I think that's going to be an issue. But at the same time, too, Keon Salter, he has not been their number one weapon. He hasn't been very, very good this year. And I think Rocco Beck is just too consistent and I think he can put up some plays versus Colorado. So to me, I like Iowa State in this game. Colorado is just one of those teams where, ever since I watched that Houston game and then TCU last week, I'm just like, this is just a team that's going downhill pretty quick.
Yeah. So I don't know why the line's 3. I'll take the 3 all day. I have no problem laying the 3. The line's actually gone towards Colorado, so I don't see that. I just don't see them scoring enough offense basically against this Iowa State defense. All right, talk about the other big game, Indiana, Oregon.
Yeah, I mean this is going to be a fun game. I mean, if you ask me, I think no. Go ahead.
Who's for real? Which team is for real? That's the biggest question. They're both 6-0. It comes into this. Obviously, the game's being played at Oregon, which is a massive favorite. The line 7.5 hasn't moved. Just to let you know, the total for the most part went up 1 point, 55.5. Mendoza was getting earlier hype and all this crap, and people talking him now as a first-round pick. I don't see him as a first-round pick, and I think if someone drafts him as a first-round pick, their head should be examined. But who's for real?
Yeah,
it's your front runner for the Heisman.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun matchup because if you ask me right now, I think Dante Moore has been. I would give him the Heisman today if the season ended today. I think he's the real deal. He's just been playing with so much poise. He's been a true leader of this team, but also Fernando Mendoza, there's a lot of credit in that way too, considering that anybody who's watched him last year at Cal and the atrocious offensive line that he's dealt with to go into an Indiana team with some legit weapons and an offensive line that can protect them. You know, I think it's good. I think it's going to be a pretty good scoring game. I think both these offenses are going to be clicking. But to me, I think Oregon's just a more well-rounded team. And like I mentioned before, I think that poise of Dante Moore, I think, is what's going to ultimately elevate Oregon to win this game. But don't write off Indiana.
Yeah, I kind of like this. I think both sides score. I don't think this is like the Penn State game at all. I definitely think both sides kind of go up and down on the field. Game probably in the 60s. Whoever kind of has the ball at the end probably wins the game. Yura Slavkovsky, shot on goal. Cash it. So Slavkovsky gets to his 6. We're still sitting at 3-2. Maybe we can get on Austin Matthews empty netter. Here we got the Yankees have 2 men on, 2 outs. Badly need to get some runs here to have a chance. We've got a Capitals goal, and the Capitals have tied it 1-1. So our under still looking pretty good here. We've got Tom Wilson. He didn't get in a fight jump shot. He put the biscuit in the basket, and it is 1-1. And we get a high pop-up here with 2 outs. And it's an out, and that's it. And that ends the Yankee threat, and that probably ends the Yankee season. So 3 minutes ago in Toronto, 1-1. We'll take a stop real quick here just to kind of understand the WNBA game, like we said, isn't much of anything. The Mercury just can't stop the Aces from scoring. 28 points for Wilson, 10 rebounds, 15 points for Jackie Young, 14 points for Jewel Lloyd. We do cash the premium play on Sabali. She's got 19 points and 6 rebounds. We talked about the 5.5 rebounds. Thomas has got 13, 9, and 7. We need 2 points. Copper has scored 1 point. That part sucks. We need her to get going. Yeah, UTEP does not look like a very good football team. I 100% agree with that as well. All right, let's take a second, look at the hockey games. We're going to pause right here. Woody College football will still be with us as we go through the 7:30 games next. We have the Kings and Golden Knights. Eichel just signed his contract. I like Jack Eichel to score anytime goal scorer at plus 175. I think he's going to kind of light the lamp on this one. I'm also going to kind of take his points in a little 2-person parlay. I'm going to take Eichel and newcomer Mitch Marner. Oh, that's actually gone up. We have the Kings, unfortunately, due to really bad scheduling, are the only team playing a back-to-back in the first 2 days of the season. Not sure how that happened, but that's what we're going to take. I'm going to take Mitch Marner and Eichel here. And unfortunately, the line has moved me on Mitch Marner getting a point. So I will have to. All right, I'll just take that personally then. And I'm going to take that with the Knights money line. I like the Knights here to win. So that'll be a 3-teamer for me. I'll take the Knights, Eichel, and Marner to all get a point. I like them to get across the line there. I'm interested to see what kind of Kings game we get. They played pretty well last night, but again, you're asking them to get a back-to-back. The one thing you noticed, though, on that game was Alex Lafreniere was basically told to shoot the puck. And him and basically his brother in the Rangers game basically just shot the puck all stinking game. So that's going to be kind of interesting to kind of see from that perspective, see what kind of legs they have in this game. I like the Knights to win this game, and I'm just going to move on to that parlay. Bruins score again, 2-1. We've got a goal explosion happening in Chicago. Not really good for our under. Elias Lindholm lights the lamp, 2-1. And we get a fourth goal for Toronto as they go up. Austin Matthews cash it at plus 140. Boom. Austin Matthews scores before with the empty netter. There we go. Elliot, yep, good night. We'll see. We'll talk tomorrow. That ECU game, I'm sure we'll chat around. So join the Sports Money live broadcast for the Thursday night game. There, Austin Matthews gets the goal, plus 140. We cash it. We will take that. Then we'll talk the second game, Calgary versus Edmonton. I lean Calgary to win this game, but I always love me some Edmonton. And there is a really cheesy, degenerative parlay that I always take. And that's Leon Draisaitl to get 2 points. So I take Leon Draisaitl to get 2 points. He generally gets a goal and assist. I like that there. He's a player I really always really like. But I think Calgary also contributes here on the scoring. Stuart Skinner's in goal. As a regular season goaltender, he's not the greatest goalie. Calgary basically counters with who's in goal tonight for Calgary. It will be Wolf. If you watched Dustin Wolf last year, he was absolutely stellar when he won it. 2.6 goals against average, 91% save percentage. Bit an actual freak. I like Calgary at the plus 1.5 here. I think they really stay in this game. I'm going to take them at plus 1.5 at minus 135. And anything can't be played without. So Connor McDavid, always the best player in the National Hockey League. Game 1, I like him to score. Jump shots coming in with Anderson over 1.5 shots on goal. Evan Bouchard, guy we rode at the playoffs all the way through. He likes him to score 2.5 shots on goal. He likes that coupled with, I assume this is Rasmus Anderson at 2.5 shots on goal. Let me see what Rasmus Anderson did last year in shots on goal wise. All right, I can get on board on that. I'll tell you on that. Rasmus Anderson, 2 shots in goal, and he's taking Boucher with that. Yep. Another goal by Toronto. He gets the 6.5. Didn't think it was all going to come from Toronto, but that's what happens when you, in the National Hockey League, when you get empty net goals. We have 3 empty net goals here, and it's 5-2. Rasmus Anderson, by the way, is minus 102. Bouchard is minus 152, so he's not really playable as a play, but I will definitely take that. Gerardo, you got your nice call. Good there. Give me 1 second. We will see the return of Nassim Kadri for Calgary. So that'll be kind of nice to see him back fully healthy. He came back at the end of the year. Another insurance run for Toronto, 5-1. Yankees are going into the night. You can see it on their face. They know they're done. They gave up a lot to be able to win last night, but just basically too much energy probably excluded in there. All right, let's watch the end of this Mercury game because this one is over. Probably this Mercury game is over too, but we'll be full still. Yep, end of the third. The Aces move out their lead, another 5 points. They've won every quarter in Phoenix. 28 points for Wilson, 16 points for Lloyd, 19 for Sabali, 13 for Thomas. We just need 2 points. Thomas does have 4 fouls. Copper's got 6. She's 3 of 10. That's not helping at all. Jackie Young's got 9 assists. They're scoring at will versus this team, and this looks like it's going to be 4 and done. But I'll tell the process. All right, so we've got some plays there for hockey. We hit some other ones live. We'll kind of see how that's going. We're running through Maple Leafs 1. I just needed them to win. Austin Matthews, we got the goal. Anytime goal scorer. We cashed it at plus 140. We get the Jackie Young stuff. We get the Sabali premium play. What was the home run that was scored there? Dodgers are still scoreless, 0-0. Jorge Polanco did not help me out today on the premium play. Liked his matchup, just didn't play well. Asia's got, 12 boards? 28 and 12 for Asia, proving that she's just so much better. All right. Moving back to college football, primetime game, Saturday night. We already talked the Florida game. We already talked the Red River game. I'm just going to ask you what your thoughts of this game. It is a 3:30 game, but I forgot to ask you this. Nebraska, Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun Big Ten matchup. You know, I'm about to release a video on Maryland on my YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. But, you know, Maryland blew a big 20-point lead last week, which wasn't entirely surprised about, but also Nebraska is just a really solid, complete football team. Dana Holgerson calling plays, Dylan Raiola just playing smart, disciplined football. Just an all-around really balanced team with a strong defensive line and a secondary that I think can cause Malik Washington problems, who is a true freshman starting for Maryland. So give me Nebraska in a really close game, but also those of you who follow Big Ten football, don't be surprised if Malik Washington is on your screen for a bigger program in a couple seasons from now, because that kid's the real deal if he can clean up a couple things.
So you think he rolls? You think he's Byron Brown doesn't finish at USF? I think there's no way he finishes at USF. I actually won't be surprised if he actually is at Miami next year. But it is funny when we look at young quarterbacks and we're like, that's great. He looks great. He's not going to be there again. Like, I don't think Jake Retzloff is there for another year at Tulane. I think he's probably going to be doing exactly what the other Tulane quarterback, who actually looked really good. Mensa's starting to look pretty good. I mean, he looked really good versus Cal. Now that Cal team's not very good, but he's starting to kind of at least put himself back on the radar here for the draft. In Daryl Mensa, you just look at all these smaller schools or off schools. Big Three here by Phoenix. Do they have it in it to make a run? They cut it to 14. But it's just sad how we look at quarterbacks and just think there, because Maryland around here is just, hey, we finally got our guy. He's a freshman. We've started him early. And you have to look in the back of your mind that all that means is most likely in a year or two, someone comes calling.
Yeah, I hate to be that cynical, but for anybody, I'm sure you know about him too. But I'm telling you, he's the real deal, and there's a reason why he's starting as a true freshman.
Yep, he's looked good. All right, 7:30 games. We'll go first. What everyone wants to talk about, because you were so gung-ho on them. Clemson versus BC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
joking. We could just sit there and say Clemson's going to win by 2 touchdowns. It's going to be very similar to the North Carolina game. I've got some premium plays in this game because this is just free money. BC is not a very good football team. Clemson, you could say they're not a very good football team, but you want to know the funniest thing? In the most accurate mock draft that there generally is out there right now, they had 3 Clemson guys, borderline 4 guys going in the top 15 picks next year.
I mean, they know how to develop it down at Clemson, so
there's still a whole lot of talent. They're not going to make anything or do anything. And if you haven't figured out, free money is TJ Moore. TJ Moore has had double-digit targets in 2 straight games. He's eclipsed his number. His number was 45 last week. He had 108. The week before, his number was 37. He had 92. Klubnik is going to him like crazy. The guy, unfortunately, who's not being seen as much is Bryant Wesco. Bryant Wesco is kind of the third man in this offense as Adam Randall comes back, and it gets a lot more attempts basically through the air. Antonio Williams, not Adam Randall. But the guy to bet is TJ Moore. Georgia versus Auburn.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Hate to say it's a must-win game for Auburn. If they lose this game, you can basically just end their SEC season. All the adjustments. Here comes Phoenix. We got it down to 11-1, and we're going to the line. What's your take, Georgia Auburn?
Yeah, I mean, I think Georgia's going to win the game, but for me, if you're an Auburn fan, you need to at least come within a possession. Auburn, they definitely have had some struggles. You don't bring in Hugh Freeze to win 6 or 7 games. You bring him to be, contending for the SEC. And the reality is about Auburn right now is Hugh Freeze knows that Jackson Arnold can't throw the football. If you've listened to his press conferences, if you see how they're utilizing him, Hugh Freeze knows that Jackson Arnold can't throw the football, and all the SEC defenses are going to be eating him up for the rest of the season. So to me, it just feels so much like last season with Oklahoma's offensive line just falling apart for Jackson Arnold towards the end of the stretch, which is kind of why they used Michael Hawkins towards the end of the year. And it just feels like it's the same sort of story for him, which I feel for him. But I think Georgia's gonna win no problem.
Yep. All right. Then the other fun game, Michigan USC.
Yeah, for me, the 7:30 game, this is really the game that I'm going to watch because, I mean, you have necessarily the talent that they've had in the past couple seasons compared to what they had versus the Jim Harbaugh era. But, Michigan's only turned over the ball 3 times. They're playing relatively disciplined. And, all things considered, I mean, their defense has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, their run defense only allowed over 80 yards once, and that was when they lost to Oklahoma. But at the same time, when you look at this USC team, I think what's impressed me the most about this USC team is not only have they been really good in pass protection this year, but also they've just been playing a lot more complementary football. They're finding ways to run the football. They've found a way to do that over 100 yards in the past 5 games this year. And also the defense is coming together a lot more than I think a lot of people kind of anticipated too. Now, granted, if USC can find a way to get home versus Bryce Underwood, which they've done a phenomenal job at this year as well, I think USC can win this game. So I think give me USC over Michigan. I see this as a 27-24 or a 30-27 kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, I find this very interesting. This whole game's going to be what type of USC team is this? Is this the team that there's Sabali for 3, cash the 20 points, plus 152. And we have it a 10-4 run here by Phoenix to try to get this back. Got it under 10, but then it's a really quick score again by the Aces to get it right back to 11. They're trying. And the books won't give you anything on Asia Wilson. I tried to look and see, and they said, no, just not going to happen. It's amazing that it's taken Mercury this long to say, hey, let's just post up Sabali. Let's post up Alyssa Thomas and get calls there because Chelsea Gray cannot stay with Sabali. All right. I go back and forth this game. I question to see if you're really going to have enough defensive standout to be able to stop the Michigan run game. Because this USC team still has been gashed on the ground. And that's the question I have. If Michigan is good enough to be able to rush the ball versus them, yes, they have their great offense and it's always fast. But the problem is when they play these physical Big Ten teams, they tend to struggle. Is this the year Lincoln Riley has there? Now, on paper, it looks like he has a much bigger team that he's had in years past. Excuse me one second. And then the other game we're going to talk about, because you have an unranked team playing a ranked team, and the line is 1.5. Can you guess what game I'm talking about?
No, it's not. It's not LSU. It's not LSU in South Carolina. That wouldn't make sense.
Nope, that's 8.5.
The Big 12 game. Big 12 game.
12 game. Yep.
I mean, the only other. I mean, we talked about Iowa State. I don't think TCU's ranked yet. It's got to be the BYU game. Whoever BYU's playing.
BYU Arizona.
So that's kind of a shock to me. That's kind of a shock. Only 1.5 in that game.
Correct. Game's in Arizona. That's the reason why. The other question that you have there, you have obviously the freshman quarterback Bachmeier has been playing really, really well. But this BYU defense, if you sit there and you look at through the numbers, they've been gashed a little bit on the air, even though they're ranked 12th in the country. But some of that, they're ranked 12th in the country on passing by kind of who they played. Portland State, they beat 69-0. So Portland State didn't do anything versus them. They destroyed East Carolina 34-13. I get bonus points for every time I mention how much East Carolina got destroyed in a football game. Stanford basically won. They destroyed 27-3. Stanford, a team that had 2.5 wins as the projected total. They barely beat Colorado, and Colorado had pretty nice success throwing the football from them. West Virginia, they won by 2 touchdowns, and now they come back and they go first game to at Arizona. That game's going to be rocking. Arizona's 4-1. Noah Fafita's still there. You still have weapons to be able to throw to. Watley's still in the receiving end. Wysong's still there. I like Arizona here as the home dog, getting 1.5 points. I think this is going to be a very interesting place for Bachmeier to have play. I think this Arizona defense is a lot better than people think. So that's my thought here in this game. What's your thought? So looks like we do have a home run scored is what I'm being told. Kyle Schwarber ties the game 1-1. Okay. We're into the 4th inning. We've got 2 minutes on the Boston-Washington game. We're holding on to an under 5.5. This is where teams pull goalies and unders go to die. So this is the only thing I hate about betting NHL. Unders is like really holding on to your ass at the end of a game. So over 5.5 is now the actual juiced play at minus 140. It's 2-1 game. You have the Bruins up a goal. You can hedge a little bit by taking Boston -1.5 at +142. Because if anyone's going to score, it's probably going to be Boston. So I put a half unit on Boston -1.5 for the last 2 minutes with a pulled goalie. Jump Shot's favorite player, Tom Wilson, is at it again. Middle Tennessee State tried their best to throw it right to the linebacker, but the linebacker has really poor hands, and he missed it. Should be Sean Sweaty Cheeks for a handle then. All right, JW, you're going to have to explain that. I'm going to ask you to explain that. Do I hedge sometimes? Yeah, of course I hedge. It's just long as about winning money at the end of the day. Phillies take a 2-1 lead. Liberty gets another field goal. They can't put up any touchdowns in this game. Wonder if that's going to come back to bite them in the ass. 3-1. Sacrifice fly. Phillies getting to Yamamoto, trying to survive here. Force a game 4. Yeah, it definitely we sweat too much. But what's your take on this BYU game? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I guess I was kind of fascinated hearing your take on it because it's just crazy how the pendulum switches. Like in the sense that very beginning of the season, everybody thought North Carolina was going to be a contender in the ACC, and now they're crapping the bed. And then vice versa, everybody thought that Arizona would be a bottom feeder, such as myself, and look at them being 4-1 right now. And, you know, props to them for that somehow being able to keep Noah Fifita too with all the behind the scenes stuff in terms of their financials and, you know, also just, you know, Brett Brennan being your coach as well. But I mean, I think that's going to be a close competitive game. I mean, you got to like what you see with Bear Bachmeier. Sure, you have some questions with them in terms of their defense, like you elaborate a little bit. But to me, BYU is a pretty complete team and quite frankly, a pretty disciplined team as well. I mean, you have some good playmakers such as Chase Roberts, who has 3 touchdowns on the year. So, I mean, I don't think I can go against BYU in this game. So I'd say give me BYU, but I think this is going to be a really close competitive game. But Noah Fifita is a lot of fun to watch for, you know, those of you on the East Coast. If you don't have anything going on at 8 o'clock, you know, watch him a little bit. He's fun.
Yeah, if you like watching Kyler Murray play, he's basically the same thing. I think he's actually shorter than Kyler Murray, though. He's about 5'9".
Yeah, that's a great comparison. That's a great comparison.
That's kind of who he is. He runs around. You can't give Asia Wilson the ball 1 foot from the basket. Come on, you can't get back in the game. You got it down to 8. Got to get a stop here. And then we're going to talk last. Your favorite team in the world, because it's your favorite young coach, who I really wonder if he sticks around there. Arizona State versus Utah. Line has kind of basically moved a little bit towards Utah. I am not sure why. Maybe you know. The line started off 1.5 for Utah. It's now -5.5. Is there somebody that's out for Arizona State?
Not that I know of. I mean, I just think Utah is just a really difficult place to play. I'd say that's probably playing a role in that as well. But I mean, a lot of people, you know, haven't been talking about Arizona State as much this year, especially, you know, the beginning of the season where they had that loss to Mississippi State. But props to them for coming back and you know, being 2-0 in the Big 12 right now, going on the road versus Utah. You have Jordan Tyson, who's been pretty sensational this year, 39 receptions, just shy of 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. Sam Levitt's still doing his thing. But, you know, when you look at this Utah team, I mean, you have Dunphy and you have Jason Beck, who's, you know, just kind of turned this offense over, you know, and everything like that too. And that Utah defense is just really kind of hard to bet against. So for me, it's a little bit of a difficult pick in this one. And I hate to be kind of a politician, but this is the game that I probably would say I couldn't really pick.
Okay. There's nothing wrong. I mean, it's a very interesting game. You have technically a ranked Arizona State, basically going into playing a Utah team that a lot of people liked. A lot of people had a dark horse for them to win the Big 12. Getting Derek Dampier there as an electric playmaker. Games in Utah. It's 10:15 at night. on the East Coast. Obviously, on the West Coast, it's a prime time 7:15 game. Most of the money is on Utah playing the ranked team. I'm trying to feel. I still don't see anything on the injury report that would show me why this line has moved 5 points. Except Alford is out, but Alford was already known to be out, so I can't see that's the reason that was moved. But, all right, I didn't catch, but somebody from Phoenix is down, and they've got all the players do the block, so no one can see who's actually hurt or how bad they're hurt. The last game that this happened was in the Defisa Collier broken ankle. So this is not a good sign for the Mercury here, who are trying to make a comeback. There's the goal by the Bruins, 3-1. Morgan Geeky, as Jump Shot said, he'd probably be better off at the Bruins money line, just taking Morgan Geeky. This is Sabali. Looks like she got hit in the face. So I don't think this is anything broken. But this would be a massive loss, obviously, for the Phoenix Mercury. Empty net goal by Morgan Geeky, 3-1. There, we got 58 seconds to keep sweating. 3-1. Philly over to the Dodgers. Still not over yet. Yankees trying one last attempt once again, as they've done all game. 2 men on, 2 outs, though. WAB killing with the towels. Yep. I mean, unless they, blew up her orbital bone, I don't know, but she can't walk. That's not good. And it doesn't look like it's a knee issue or anything like that. She just looks like she probably got a concussion. I do love Cleo Copper stopping to make sure she fixes her hair before she helps out the player. Yeah, I that's where I think this is a concussion related. But she looks to be completely out of it. She's get carried off. That will end the Mercury season, because most likely she will not be able to go. If this is concussion related, the WNBA, it's really, really linging on passing concussion protocols. There won't be enough games for her to be able to get off to be able to go. I believe she also has a history of concussions, as she's had them in Dallas. So she just looks completely out of it. She can't walk, being completely carried off. The Washington power play was the reason they lost. Yep. That's it. Cash the under 5.5 on the Capitals. Their ineptitude gives us the under 5.5. We will take it. Hey, Dash Luke to get involved here in this Missouri State game. He's really pissing me off. Any other game we didn't discuss that you want to talk about, Rob?
Let's take a quick look here.
Got the Bruins doing the money line. Good cash there, Jermaine.
I mean, this isn't really a game that I want to talk about, just my own conspiracy theory. But I mean, for those college football sickos out there, I think UMass is going to get their first win over Kent State this week.
Ooh, UMass, who gets destroyed by everybody.
Yeah, I just had to me that just feels like one of those degenerate games where I'm going to be sitting there at around 5 o'clock. I'm going to be looking that UMass is going to be up by maybe 10 or 13. Then I'm going to get my hopes up about this conversation, and then Kent State's going to come back, and then maybe UMass gets a field goal to win or something like that.
Okay. All right, Copper gets 2 free throws. And we are cut to an 8-point game, but the question has been the same the entire game. Can the Mercury get a stop? It's 82-74. With only 2 players scoring. And easy cut, easy play by Jackie Young for another layup. It's been the issue all game. Off-ball screen, there's the layup. Alyssa Thomas, we're still trying to see if she can get 15. She's got 14. Clea Copper finally coming aboard. And she goes down. Are they calling an and one where Copper can get going here? Be nice if she. Yeah, I don't know how this is a foul. Copper goes for the layup, and the other girl sticks her ass out. And Copper hits her in the knee as she drives by. All right, Copper with the 3-point play here. So Copper has moved herself up to 11 points here. See if she can shoot some threes. Sably already hit her 2 threes, so we're not dead here. Copper then almost gets the steal, does get the steal. She's been inspired. Another basket by Copper, and she's up to 13. And it's a 5-point game as Phoenix has finally come alive here. But again, can they play any defense? That has been the biggest question the entire game. Copper all over the grill, taking Chelsea Gray, gets the and one, goes to the line, hits the free throw, and it's a 4-point game. All Phoenix did was to knock out their number 1 scorer, and they seem to get inspired. Now, how about don't give it to Asia Wilson? And instead, they give up Jackie Young, wide open 3, but she doesn't get it. Alyssa Thomas gets it. She comes barreling down as she likes to do. Kicks it out to Copper for 3. Copper drills it. She drills it. 1-point game. It's a 1-point game for Phoenix. Trying to keep their season alive. Actually, it's the best of 7. There's always going to be a game 4. But 1-point game for Phoenix, and more importantly, a 1-3 for Copper. Missouri State almost has a strip fumble here. So we need one more 3 to catch the plus 51, 151 premium bet here for Copper as she has come alive. 84-83. She looked like she got pissed when Sabali went out, and she has basically just said, give me the ball. I'll carry us to the promised land. So, at least it's a game. All right, so Calgary and Edmonton has started. Vegas and Kings are yet to drop the puck. Should drop it shortly. Liberty are still up 19. San Antonio beat Miami in the preseason game. They covered the 2.5 if you took that. Utah and Houston. Utah continues to play no defense. And if you haven't heard the news, Lauri Markkanen is available via trade. They are open to trading Lauri Markkanen. Kind of interesting to see what they get from him. Again, it's kind of one of the things I said. They have a logjam. He doesn't really fit the current timeline probably of the team. He's not always healthy. He's on a max deal. Not sure that's kind of what you have along. But obviously they moved John Collins already. Trying to keep Kessler. My guess is you're probably trying to open a spot for Filipkowski so you can keep Kessler. And you can make the Lakers who think they're going to get Kessler for nothing cry and whine. So we have a 2nd and 37 for the Missouri State right now. That's probably not going to get the first down. I'm just going to go on a limb right now on this drive. So,
yeah, the only other bet I'll give everybody here, and then I'll depart. I saw Iowa and Wisconsin was 35 and a half. I would bet my bottom dollar that will absolutely be under 35. I mean, Iowa's offense, they getting them over 14 points is a struggle every week. And then Billy Edwards is coming back from injury. Wisconsin team that's been struggling offensively, inconsistent defensively. That's gonna be one of those games you tune into the fourth quarter, and it will probably be 13-10.
Okay, so you don't have a lot of faith in the Maryland product, Billy Edwards, who had a good year at Maryland, another quarterback who had a pretty decent year last year at Maryland, and then bolted, and then obviously got hurt in the first quarter of the game.
I don't think Billy Edwards is necessarily a bad quarterback. I just think him coming off an injury, you have an Iowa
Very
defense
good,
who's
yeah.
one of the better ones in the country. It just wouldn't be on my bingo card for him to do anything too special in this game.
Yep, I agree with that. I definitely agree. I'd take the under 35 again. There's not much you're seeing from there. Dodgers got 2 men on, no outs. Actually, 2 men on, 2 outs. I apologize. Trying to cut into this Phillies lead. We got the Mercury game back, 1-point game. But before you go, Rob, tell people where they can find you. Tell about your content.
Yeah, so my YouTube channel, it's called Witty CFB College Football. I'm gonna be posting some more videos tonight and tomorrow. But I cover all college football. I do a little bit of the Big Ten, the SEC. I have guests here and there. So if you're just looking for, just some smaller channel kind of content, definitely give me a listen if you enjoy what you've heard. I'm not really on Twitter too much, so YouTube is definitely the best way you get to me, and appreciate being generous with your time and having me on, and definitely keep following Sean on YouTube, on X and all that.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for joining us. Yep.
All right. Thanks again.
Bye-bye. All right. Once again, you can find my Witty CFP. A lot of different good videos just on the breakdown, not really kind of betting related, but more on like different college football topics, different things like that. So if you're into that kind of stuff, really good content. Definitely see him. Definitely understands the college football game. Glad to have him on. We go with Copper again for 3, but she front arms it. All right, we got a 1-point game. Gerardo believes he's going on Mercury plus 125. 2 minutes to go, 84-83. Does Asia Wilson take every shot, or is this the Jackie Young closeout? Jackie Young takes it, and they're going to call a call. And, of course, Bonner's going to yell and say, I didn't touch her, and there's no way I touched her. So do we have a review left? Jackie, well, she hits her arm twice before, but that was before the shot. If you're going to make the call is on the floor. So we've got 63 people here. Tell me what we're doing. Philly gets out of it, 3-1. They go to the 5th. Someone tell me why Vegas hasn't dropped the puck. Is there a delay? Let me see. I've got this game, they say, on TNT. All right. We've got Jump Shot coming with us with some. All right. So we're still watching the Vegas openings thing, which I will tell you is one of the cool. They do a great job for their opening sequence. So game still hasn't dropped. So I guess it really was a 10:30 game, not a 10 o'clock game. So Jump Shot likes Charles Oliveira inside the distance and Mario Pinto on the money line. Then he likes Walter Walker by heel hook is a must bet. Where can you bet by heel hook? JJ, I'm going to ask you to tell me, where can you bet by heel hook? Phoenix does challenge this call, and I think they're going to lose this, but I think they're going to call the foul on the floor. MGM is submission special props. Okay. All right. So I'll have to look at what I have on MGM, which is not much, and bet Walter Walker. Let's see. Let me go on MGM and see what we can get at that. Since I trust my boy Jump Shot here with MMA. All right. Dewana Bonner, they did not win the challenge. We're going to have some free points here by Jackie Young because these are called free throws, so they are free points. And Jackie Young is a very good free throw shooter. All right, so, yeah, I don't have much money on this at all. All right, Walker is a minus. Oh, he's playing on Usman? Yeah, I don't have any props yet available. So I guess I got to wait on that, but I'll look at that. Big three by Dewana Bonner, and it is a tie ball game. A tie ball game. That would mean the same number of points for each team. 86-86 coming down the stretch here. All right, is the league going to give the Aces the calls? And it's another and one call. Chelsea Gray. Yeah, I like Calgary as well. I had much better goaltender here tonight, plus 1.5. Still like McDavid to score. I still like Draisaitl to get 2 points. Middle Tennessee State down 6, trying to move the football here. Chelsea Gray misses the free throw, so it's still only a 2-point game here. 1:20 to go. I think we're still trying to see Alyssa Thomas to score 1 point. Definitely has not been a focal point of the offense here. She's got 14 and 12. Bonner up, under, travel, miss. And they're going to call a foul? Yeah, because they got to call a foul on every play. Bonner's got 10 rebounds this game. Definitely getting after it. She's going to go to the line here. Shooting 2, the chance to tie the game. Uh-oh, she's not getting up. They can't afford to lose any other players. Middle Tennessee State is on a drive here. Down 6. Trying to take my heart away. Nick Fatito. All right, Bonner steps up to the line. Makes it a 1-point game. Let's go. Shooting one more. If Edmond goes up 2, I'll ride Calgary with you, plus 2.5. So Jump Shot doesn't really agree, but he's like, I agree at the 2.5. Bonner hits the second one, too. We are tied. 88-88, 101. This goes to overtime. I don't know how many players Phoenix has left. Can they get a stop? They have not been able to get a stop the entire game. We got a switch here. We got Sammy Wickham on Jackie Young. Young picks up her dribble. Backdoor cut, and Asia fumbles it. They get the stop. 40 seconds, Mercury ball. Chance to take the lead. The fans are absolutely floored here. Sammy Wickham playing point guard. She is no point guard. Picks up her dribble early. The number one thing you don't want to do. They get it to Alyssa Thomas. She gets it to Dewana Bonner. And her wife gets it. Thomas goes inside, drives it on Alyssa Thomas. No call. And Vegas gets the board. 16 seconds. You need to foul. No, actually, sorry. It's a tie game. I thought it was a 2-point game. Young inside. They're going to call a call. Or they're going to call timeout. That Becky Hammond called timeout. 5 seconds to go. Alyssa Thomas misses the drive. Wanted the foul called, didn't get it called. I mean, that's a pretty good move by Hammond to put Gustafson in on Thomas because she's got the size. kind of make it difficult for them. So Thomas moves into the middle. It was a good defensive call there also. You had a delayed help where Thomas already moves in, takes away the inside. Machado back to pass. He goes deep. He throws it to the guy 7 yards out of bounds. He does make the catch, though. But it was 7 yards out of bounds. So that's not really sure that's going to count here. I'm not sure where this pass was supposed to go to, but boy, this is called just throwing it away. And this was a fade pass past the white chalk, the secondary white chalk. Little option pitch here from Middle Tennessee State. Still 11 minutes to go in this game. Yamamoto's coming out. Phillies have done a good job getting to him. Anthony Banda's in for Yoshino Yamamoto. 5 seconds to go. Asia Wilson with the ball. The double comes. She fades, and she hits with .1. Fade away, and she makes it. That's just going to take the heart away from Phoenix for losing this game. Now, it's listed at .1. Now, obviously, they're going to review this. They're going to need like .2 to get a shot off. Tip your hat. EJ. Good defense there. Just a great shot. All right, they put .3. They put .3. So at .3, that's enough to get out at a shot. Tied it up for nothing. Yeah. And as Alyssa Thomas can't get the 15, she was at 13 for the entire quarter. That's terrible. She gets 1 point. To me, people are probably not going to like this, but Alyssa Thomas is not on the floor in this shot for me. It's .3. Unless you're going to have her being the inbounder, she's not on the floor. She's not a very good shooter on anywhere on the floor. There's .3. This is a catch and shoot field. This is, I'd put Katie on. I put Bonner on. I put Muakani on. I put Westeld on. I'd put Lexi Eld on. I'd put every single guard you have. I don't understand why Alyssa Thomas is on the floor, unless she's the inbounder. But it doesn't look like she is. So you're basically put a player that I wouldn't guard. So Alyssa Thomas is going to be the passer. Okay. So this is probably going to be Sammy Wickham here. We're going to run the painted fence. Copper goes out to the, what the world are you doing? Bonner gets a shot off, but it doesn't go in. It hits the rim and bounces out. It was actually a pretty decent look for 0.3 seconds. Good play there by Phoenix. Just threw it up high. Bonner went up and got it. Shot it in the same motion. Doesn't go through. Unfortunately, that's 3-0, and that ends this. This title is done. The Aces win their third title. Fourth game without Sabali playing Mabley. Not a chance. It's a very good shot, though. Yeah, Chelsea Gray sit there. Bonner catches it, spins around 180. That's a very, very, and almost makes it. Very, very difficult shot there. Faced it, 180 catch in the air, turn around. and face the basket and actually hit rim. It's got to be really excited by the degree of difficulty there. Dodgers say, we're going to the World Series. We're going to the World Series. Not yet, but pretty much probably the World Series, American League team. All right, bases loaded here for Banda. Got 2 outs, down 3-1. Dodgers need to make sure they don't give up any runs. Andre Kuzmenko. First to score for the LA Kings. First goal for the LA Kings for the year. 1-0. Actually, second goal. They scored one meaningless goal last night at the end. Anse Kopitar with the assist. 1-0. LA. Edmonton, Calgary are 0-0, 10 minutes in. 1-0 Edmonton, never mind. They light the lamp. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the first shot on goal for Edmonton. Actually, and it's 1-0 Edmonton. All right. I am not saying the whole time through the Dodgers game or hockey game that'll be up to like 1 o'clock. We'll go to 11 o'clock here, and the Missouri State game should be over by then, and we'll see if we get that casher. 0-2 count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Banda trying to get out of the jam caused by Yamamoto. And that's it. They get out of it. 3-1. Dodgers still alive. We got a 1st and 10. Nicholas Vitato. 11 minutes to go. Brad Marsh swings through it. Middle Tennessee State has the ball at the 10-yard line. Little flare pass out to the side. Goes nowhere. Missouri State's ready for that. $90-88 on the Aces. Liberty cruising early, 19-0. Kings light the lamp first. Edmonton gets back the great Danny Wolf. 2 shots, 1 goal is not really what Calgary was expecting. Copper's heroics. All right, what do I got live that's still outstanding? We hit Slavkovsky. We hit the under 5.5. We're sweating Missouri State here. Didn't really have much in the Dodger game. Did think the Dodgers would win, though. Sweating some stuff in the Calgary game. McDavid, Draisaitl, Eichel. All right, Potato up. We lost the Alyssa Thomas 15 points. It's completely sad since she had 13 starting the fourth quarter. She had 11 starting the first second half. 3rd and 9 for Middle Tennessee State. Struggled to put it in. He goes right over the middle, and it's a touchdown for Middle Tennessee State. They take the lead. 20-19. Not what we wanted, but still 9 minutes left. We're not done here. So this is the one thing you haven't understood in these games. So the Americans have been playing these games in the middle of the week, which is great for a national TV audience. However, they've been averaging 50% attendance. So they've been averaging around 14 to 15,000 people on a beautiful 34,000 foot stadium. Just not coming to see the games in the middle of the week. So home field advantage for Middle Tennessee State is there, but not really. Screamer down the line. Great catch here. Marsh goes up high and gets it. Probably takes away a double. Lacey with the touchdown. Nick Vitato, 20-19, Middle Tennessee State, 9 minutes to go. Shohei Ohtani, who's left a small village on the base pass this series, sends a screamer down the line. Foul. All right, this is the thing with the Dodgers. The question where you go into bullpens. To me, this is where you go into some of the starters that aren't pitching. I'd go to Tyler Glasnow and let Glasnow pitch probably 2-3 innings. Forget the righty-lefty crap. Just go with Glasnow for 2-3 innings. You have the better pitching staff. Ohtani does not like that call. Suarez is throwing 41 pitches. Doesn't get the low strike. He wanted that one. Got a power play for Calgary here. Chance to knot this up. And Ohtani does what he's been doing all series. Strikes out. Got to be better than that, Shohei. He was fooled on that pitch. So this is where the Dodgers technically start to get hits. 2 outs. Now we get a late rally. Mookie Betts off the leadoff triple. You didn't get on. Weren't able to bring him home, which is slightly pathetic. There we go. Betts with the single up the middle. That's what we said. 2 out rallies, really what the Dodgers want to do. Shit, I forgot to bet LAFC. We do have LAFC versus Toronto getting ready to kick off right now. If you're not aware of it, Sun Heung-min is not on, because this is the one thing with MLS. They don't take off for international duty. So this is a big international soccer week for World Cup qualifying. So this is not the normal LAFC. You've got Buenga on international duty. You've got Chonier on international duty. You've got Ordez on international duty. You've got Son on international duty. You got Etienne for Toronto international duty. So definitely not a really great lineup here for their Ebuisi, the once good striker from Seattle, who then left, went to San Jose, and now it's kind of battled back. Is your starting center forward. David Martinez, the young kid at 19 years old, the Venezuelan kid, is next to him with Timothy Tillman, the other young player, U.S.-born player. So, all right, Missouri State's got the ball, now down 1. First time trailing the entire game. Let's see what they can do. Get the ball to Dash Lane. Come on. Instead, we go right to the ground game. Picked up 4 or 5. 9 minutes to go. Trying to do a drive. Put him back up. Lawrence has had a pretty good game this night. Nothing special, but 10 carries, over 65 yards, averaging over 5 yards a pop. It's really surprising because Middle Tennessee State's pass defense is one of the worst in the country. And Missouri State is still trying to tackle them rushing the ball. Little RPO here for the quarterback. And Bailey extends it. And we're going to have a first down. 241 yards for Deuce Bailey tonight. Freshman out of Bowling Green. Really thought we'd have a lot more passes than 13 completions. He's only been around 50% tonight. Bengals have announced they are going to start Joe Flacco versus the Packers. I guess the 4 days of learning the offense has really helped. Push him over Browning, who they paid all this money to. Deuce back to pass, turns, looks, gets it out. Tight end almost turns around and hands it back to the cornerback, and it's an incomplete pass. Maybe you go back to the run. Oh, NHL has a 2-minute penalty for embellishment. Had to give that word a gong. NBA should be copy that rule. Yeah. Well, there actually is a rule for the NBA, but it's almost never called. There is a rule for flopping, but it's almost never, ever called. Bailey's going to get sacked. So after the incompletion leads to the sack, now you're going to have a big third down. Last time they had 3rd and 37, and unfortunately they weren't able to get 3rd and 37. Now they're going to come back with a 3rd and, I think, 25. 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18. Bailey's holding the ball out like a loaf of bread as he's getting sacked. That's always what you want your quarterback to do. Touchdown UTEP. And they go for 2, and they make it 19-8. Still don't think they'll catch a liberty, but at least they get a score at the end. 3rd and 14, Missouri State. Come on, pass the football. Maybe you shouldn't run back 17 yards before you have. Good fight there. Oh, and they may get they're going to get a flag here. This might be a horse call. They're going to pick up 13 yards, and there's a late flag, which got thrown with the tackle. Personal foul, face mask, automatic first down. Missouri State back in action here. Let's see if we can get the ball to Little Man. Right there, number 1. That's who we want the ball to. Is there a rule that if you're under 5'11", your number's got to be like 1 single digits? Dashes open, gets the ball to Johnson, gets the first down. He's into the secondary. Big play, but he loses the football, but it's recovered by the center. About 20 yards here from Missouri State. Bailey throws a rope, really piss poor tackling. Little juke move, gets out into the secondary. Arm comes down, then the ball comes out, recovered by the offense anyway. But yeah. Byfield scores 2-0 Kings. Maybe getting that second game right in a row got them to feel comfortable, because Vegas is obviously not out to a great start. The other thing that really sucks, this is my goaltender who's given up 2 goals with 7 shots. Bailey is thrown down, wrestling style, thrown to the turf when he tried the RPO. Definitely did not do the proper thing. All right, we are in the top of the 6th here. Phillies are still up 3-1. Bailey looked like he fumbled that football too. 1 out. And we're going to have a runner on first with the walk. Bailey back to pass. He throws the fade route. He's got the receiver, and he can't hang on to it. That was actually a good throw. Hit him in the hands. Couldn't score. He's got to be able to fit that. What do we like live? Edmonton lights the lamp. 2-0 over Calgary. There's your 2-0. Connor McDavid with the assist. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Andrew Mangiapane. Dustin Wolf is not off to a great start. 2 goals given up on 8 shots. Stuart Skinner has stopped everything he's faced. Draisaitl's got 1 assist. McDavid's got 2 assists. Little swing pass out to the running back. He's got a little convoy here. And he'll only get to the 12-yard line here. In a 1-point game, it's going to be 4th down, forced to kick the field goal here. 20-19, 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go. We're going to have to depend on the Missouri State defense. Not something no one has ever said. Can he make the field goal? Little chip shot. 29-yard attempt. And it's good. Missouri State takes the lead. But if you had -2.5, you're not real happy. Because somehow, because of a missed extra point, you are only up 2 points. All right, Smoke and Mirrors says he must really like Skinner, even though someone got into an argument with me of how well he sucks the other day. I forget who it was. That Gorgie? I was like, Stuart Skinner's not a good goaltender. I was like, well, he has his moments. All right, I got a 3-1 game, 1 out, 1-2 count here. Dodgers still trailing 3-1. Trying to keep this game within their 1-2 count. Need a double play ball to get out of this inning. Two nothing Edmonton, 2-0 Kings. Let's see if the Knights can get one here and make this more of a game. Jack Eichel's got 1 shot on goal. Mitch Marner's got 1 shot on goal. Dorfieff. All right, we got 2 outs here. Got an arm running, not there. Mikey loves Skinner. He has his games. That's the question with Skinner. A lot of people like his upside. The question you have to always look at is the defense in front of him, but they went out and they got good defense there that block a lot of shots. So they do a much better job not making him see any shots. So last year, I mean, an under 90% save percentage. That's not really what you want from a goalie, but they won enough games because they scored 4 or 5 goals. So if you could score that many goals, your goalie doesn't have to be great. He just has to be serviceable. It's kind of the Mackenzie Blackwood thing. So, I mean, they won plenty of games where he just didn't have a lot of saves. But again, they block a ton of shots. And as long as they block the shot coming through, like, I mean, right now he's had to face 4 shots. So 4 shots have gotten through. I could be a goaltender if the other team's only going to shoot 4 times. I agree. I've often agree, but again, if you're paying Draisaitl and you're paying Connor McDavid, which is the 2 big contracts that you have to get done, you're not going to want to pay a top flight goalie. Like, I like the rumor that Vasilevsky was going to be traded to them, and you were going to get Hyman and some other players going to Tampa. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, again, from their perspective, they've made the Cup twice, 2 times in a row. Obviously, they lost to Florida 2 times in a row. Do you make that trade for a goaltender mid-season so you eat up some of the cap? So it's not really that. And you kind of look around the league and you kind of look at the teams that aren't expected to compete that have pretty good goaltenders. And it's a little bit interesting when you start to look at that and try to see, okay, which is a guy I can acquire. So, because most of your not your very good teams don't have really good goaltenders. So, all right, Matato's got the ball, and they start the drive, giving up a 25-yard pass. That's really what you want to do, Missouri State. Can't give up 25-yard passes. I mean, you got a lot of new goalies around the league. Definitely not a gluttony of contenders out there that have decent goalies. I mean, the Sabres, Senators expected to compete. Linus Ullmark obviously comes into them as their latest stench to come play goalie. Had a very nice year last year. Came over from Boston. He's clearly the man. Maybe if they fumble, maybe that's a guy you could go after. He could just like to say Skinner too. That's probably a nice thing that you could say. If the Lightning fumble, Vasilevsky becomes obviously a big hot price. If the Rangers, who somehow don't compete, obviously Shesterkin becomes a very interesting name. Or maybe you take Jonathan Quick, but I think he's kind of lost a step. So 3rd and 4 here for Middle Tennessee State. Big play, goes to the out route. His receiver double catches it. They're going to give him forward progress, but he didn't really catch it where it first hit him. I question that. Replay review should look at this because it hits him in the hands and then it kind of bounces off and he has to double catch the ball 3 yards back behind the line of scrimmage. NHL betting is fun. I will tell you, but there's times, especially shots on goal, that can be really, really frustrating. Especially as one of the things that's actually really cool to bet, and we bet it more in the playoffs than we do in the regular season, but the way that the season has started, like he double catches that. So this should not be a first down. He clearly double catches it at 48. It is block shots. So you can get block shots in DK. You can now get it on FanDuel. And you can get some really, really nice numbers on over 1.5 block shots. And I was kind of shocked already in these first 2 days how many block shots there actually has been, because McKinnon shot the puck 6 times. He only got credit for 2 shots because only 2 shots were on net, because 3 of them were blocked and 1 of them was nowhere near hit the post. So Freddie Freeman goes down. Ball does kind of come loose, but I don't know. This will be an interesting call. They gave him the catch. Call upheld. Interesting, because he does have it, but then he kind of loses it when the guy finally hits it out of his hands. So that's another thing to kind of look at, whether these shots on goal numbers get there, because the defensemen are really kind of getting in the way of taking away player shots. You're going to have very low shots on goal numbers. So if you look at the Florida Blackhawk game, and it's defensemen always get the block shots for the most part, but you could occasionally, like Teravainen had 2 block shots. You had Sam Rinsel, the rookie in Chicago, playing in the number 1 line, at 4 block shots. Connor Murphy had 3. Grishik had 2. So you weren't getting really a lot of Florida shots. 3 players that got 3 shots on goal. And a lot of it was because of the block shots. Florida, very good at blocking shots. Mikkola had 3. Petrie had 2. So kind of look at defensemen. It's kind of something you could play, and you can get really nice plus money on block shots. So it's something I do always play in the playoffs. I generally don't play in the regular season because guys don't really give up their body. But right now, early on, guys are giving up their body. The Colorado game, Burns had 3 block shots. Girard had 3 shots. Every other defenseman had a block shot. You go on the LA side of the business. Like I said, you had 4 block shots by Doherty, 3 shots by Clark, 2 shots by Anderson, 2 by Edmondson. Really took away this shots on goal prop. All right, Dodgers got something going here. What can we get the Dodgers live here? If you're not on the Dodgers, cheer with me, Cleveland. Let me hear you. Let's go. 2 men on, 1 out. Max Muncy up to the plate. Suarez looks like he's finally lying there. Muncy throws the grenade. Not sure why, because it wasn't like it was a run. All right. Enrique Hernandez, who has been great. The Hernandez brothers. Continuing to make more. Andy Pies and Edmund up. Edmund already with the home run tonight. Let's see what they can do. Come on, Dodgers. Yeah, goal assist props are kind of fun to take. Goals you're always going to get plus money for, but sometimes it's a crapshoot. Especially it really sucks when the guy shoots it, and on the way to scoring the goal, it's just deflected right at the end. So that's sometimes kind of disheartening, but it happens. It's like betting home runs in NBA. Oh, and we got a double play, and you get a double play. Max Muncy rounds right into a double play. 5-4-3. Muncy swings at the first pitch. Can't do that. And that ends the Dodgers. Dodgers are plus 134 on the run line at plus 1.5, plus 330 if you believe on the money line. Hockey, both games are at 2-0. Probably going to be the end of the period. You got a minute left to go in Vegas. And Edmonton up 2-0 going into 1. And just like in soccer, you got to realize if the shot is not on frame, it is not a shot on goal. Like Rasmus Anderson has taken 2 shots, but none of them been anywhere near the net, so they don't count. Emberson's the only player in this game with 2 shots on goal. Once again, Calgary still only has 4 shots on goal. It's tough to win a game if you have 4 shots on goal. LAFC is on the board. Goal scored by Jeremy Obasi. We got 2 minutes to go in the Missouri State game. Then we will call it. I'll probably try to join the Thursday show at some point. I like the Eagles big. There's some plays I have on Jackson Dart. I think there's a couple things you could look at with Jackson Dart. One, do you think that the Giants are going to pull him? And the answer to that is no. They'll probably let him feed out to the Wolves no matter how bad he gets. One, the prop that you should always be on. Let's see what it actually started today. Keep in mind, Tyrone Tracy will probably play this game. So caution your Scatabo bets. If you've been betting that, you're probably going to see a healthy dose of Tyrone Tracy in this game. But Jackson Dart has back-to-back games of over 50 yards rushing. But they keep setting his line at 34.5. Now it's 36. I will take the 36 rushing yards without any issue. They keep running design runs for him. So, and then he runs when he can't find anybody passing. So I have no problem taking that number. But let's look at Jackson Dart a little bit more closely. With that, Jackson Dart, yes, bad game versus the Saints, but he threw for 202 yards. Is he going to throw for 200 yards versus the Eagles? Probably not, unless they come in garbage time. I think we're going to see Clayton Kershaw, and we are. So we see Clayton Kershaw here making his last time. Jackson Dart has thrown for at least 1 touchdown in each game. Minus 198 for 1, plus 310 for 2. Rushing yards, we already talked about. Touchdowns, not a chance in hell I play that. But let's talk completions. Or better off, let's talk attempts. He threw for 20 passes versus the Chargers. He threw for 40 versus the Saints. Granted, we know the Saints aren't as good as the Chargers. But still, they've been playing pretty good games. If we think this is going to be a blowout, 31.5 attempts, probably not a bad look. Probably a good chance there. Rushing attempts, 7.5. Only ran 7 times last night. Ran 10 times versus the Chargers. Think this is going to be more of the Charger game. And they get a hit off Kershaw to start off. Nice little fought off the pitch inside. Turner boots it out into center field. 3rd and 11 here for Middle Tennessee State, trailing 2 at the 40-yard line. Little swing pass to get there. Sets them up at the 31. It's going to be 4th down with 1:44 to go. We're going to see how good their kicker is. It's 4th and 10. It's going to be a 48-yard field goal for the win. Interesting that Missouri State is just letting the clock bleed. So is Middle Tennessee State. Longest pass, 28.5. He's yet to throw a pass past 18 yards. Take the under. You have Slade and Hurt. You have no neighbors. Very good Philadelphia secondary. I like the under 18.5. There's another premium play, but I'm not going to say it. So that's just some ways you can get on Jackson Dart to kind of watch that game. Kings are up 2. Yeah. Shocking to see. Skinner's a bum is what Sports Money is saying, but again, you can be a bum if the other team only puts 4 shots on net. Carter Hart, yeah, it could be illegal. It could be an option if he gets through his legal situation. It's going to be a question of how much money he wants. Again, they're trying to sign Connor McDavid. Actually, I think they signed McDavid, didn't they? Yeah, he got a tremendous deal. So Kershaw's going to come in and walk Schwarber. The runner on first. So they're trying to still sign Draisaitl. But David takes a 2-year deal. So you definitely have to use that. And the field goal is no good. No good. 59 seconds left. Middle Tennessee State has 1 timeout. That will be the game. If you had -2.5, you got shit-faced. Missouri State will win this game, though. Do you think Crosby is going to Edmonton? I do think Crosby's going to become available. I think Crosby's going to be one of the guys that sits there and says, okay, I'm going to have a chance to go join a ring. But I really don't see him going to Edmonton. I got to see how much space they have. So there is a cap in NHL. Teams don't know that. All right, so Edmonton has 0 cap space. Great catch. Came right in. Might get a double play. No. Big catch there by Teoscar. Yeah, he definitely took a home down discount. Doesn't entirely work that way. You can get some cap relief, but you don't get the total amount of salary. And it'd have to be a pretty big player for them to be able to fit Crosby's cap in there. Because Crosby's at $8.7 million. So even if it was halfway through the season, it still would have to be $4 million. Which means you'd have to actually figure out a way to get $4 million. And $4 million, your Draisaitl, McDavid, Bouchard, Nurse, and Ekholm, and Nugent Hopkins are the only ones that are close to that. And they get him on the double out. Schwarber gets picked off here. Runner on third, 2 outs. Dodgers trying to get out of the inning again. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. I don't think it'd be Edmonton. I think you're probably more likely looking at cap space to be team like the Rangers, team like Winnipeg, the Kings or Boston. You could make a sense it could be Toronto. They have ways to be able to do it. So, yeah. Draisaitl gets hurt at the Olympics. They put the book it. Okay. Yeah, that's the one thing you're going to have to remember. There is an Olympic break come next year. So, all right. Missouri State wins. So we cashed that. Liberty's up 19-8. Nothing in that game. We're still waiting for the second period to begin in Edmonton and the Kings. I was kind of surprised. Vegas has come out here and laid an egg. We got first and third here for the Phillies. 2 outs. Kershaw trying to get out of it. So LAFC gets up 1. Yeah, but Kachuk got hurt in the beginning of the year, but that's not actually the cap space they got for Kachuk. Just because he got injured didn't actually open up cap space. especially if Chuck got hurt in March. That's the big thing. So that would allow him not to open the season under the books. So because that essentially opens him as out for the year, that's called the LTIR loophole, which is long-term injured reserve. If any player is going to miss a minimum of 10 games in 24 days to be placed in LTIR. And there's no cap space, if you're not aware, in the postseason. So Kachuk is not expected to play this year until the postseason. Yeah. Correct. As long as he misses 10 games, you could go LTIR, and they freed up $8.7 million. Correct. But Kachuk's on a much bigger contract. Believe it or not. Let me see what his contract, if I can find it, was for 24-25. Yeah, he was on $9.5 million. So him getting hurt in March still basically gave them an LTIR because as long as he missed 10 days. Yes. They went and got Marchand, and then but basically Kachuk came back for the playoffs, which is basically a giant loophole in the system. So Draisaitl's at that type of contract. But I mean, you're basically guessing that if one guy gets hurt, that Edmonton would then pick up Draisaitl. I mean, would pick up Crosby. I could see that, but you still got to give up something. They're not just going to throw him into Edmonton just to say, because we like you. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. I mean, I see other teams that would probably be more likely than Edmonton, but we'll see. I definitely do think he does get traded because I think they kind of give him his last hurrah. So, all right. Well, that ends the Missouri State game. It's 11:15. We're going to call the show. Gerardo's going with LAFC. He likes the young guys that are playing. Score some goals. It's 1-0. I can't trust any of these kids that are playing. Toronto's not a very good team, so they're not even playing their best guys either. So, but all right, let's just do the recap. We went through a bunch of college football plays. We came through some different things. We hit Missouri State. We lose the Alyssa Thomas somehow. Somehow we lose Alyssa Thomas scoring 15 points. That was an absolute kick in the ass. We hit Bonner, 5.5 rebounds. We hit Sabali, going the points for the premium play. We hit Copper, getting her 15 points with her and Young. We hit Copper, getting her 15 points with Sabali. So that cashes quite easily. We hit the free play on the winnable over 6.5 for Chicago today. Philly, the Dodgers are still going through. Toronto, the Yankees, we didn't have anything. Washington, we hit the under 5.5. The Toronto, Gerardo gave us the over 6.5 live. That was good for Gerardo. We hit the Austin Matthews anytime goal. We hit the Juraj Slafkovský shots on goal in the third period. We have some hockey plays, but neither of them are doing too well. We will say that. We went through a bunch of college football stuff. 1 of them is 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 1 We'll be back. I'll pop on at some point when my wife goes to sleep tomorrow for the Thursday show. Other than that, thanks all for joining you. Thanks for all being in the chat. Eventually, I will get my co-host back. Just has to go through some things first. But other than that, we've got NBA basketball in 2 weeks. So Wednesday nights should be hopping pretty good. As always, you can find me on X at Sean's Fox Plays. Find me at Bookie Killers for in the Discord. I have my winnable right there. I go through every week. I let you know what the free plays did. I let you know what the premium is did. I'll tell you. I'm 100% transparent. I will always tell you if we're up, we're down, whatever we have, as long as we're up for the month. From the premium plays, I don't charge a lot. I charge $10 a month to get premium plays. As long as I'm up for the month, I'll charge you. If not, I will message you and I'll Venmo you the $10 of what you paid for the month. But so guaranteed profit. I guarantee we're up for the month. So other than that, at least sign up for the free plays. Free plays, like I said, went 10-3 last week. Other than that, join the Sports Money. See Ramon in the morning. Join us for the Thursday night game. Everybody have a good night. See ya. Let's go.